tonight's episode of the Gamecasters, we talk about all the games we played at our Gen Con weekend. We play a game, and then we end the show with our top 5 things to do while you're playing games. Stay tuned. Well, hello there, gamers, and welcome to episode 47 of the Gamecasters. Can you guys believe that we've made it 47 episodes without the FBI bashing in the door after what Jeff said he wanted to do to birds? Oh. For all you new listeners out there, thank you so much for listening to the first 46 episodes, which I'm sure you did back to 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 back. It's
going to keep going.
I've been trying to promote our podcast everywhere I can, from Instagram to Facebook to Board Game Geek. And so far, the only real lead I've had has been with the government, who just wants to use our episodes as torture to get terrorists to talk.
Oh, my God.
Well, hello there, gamers. Not this again. I'll talk. So this is Gen Con weekend. Normally, the Gamecasters plus Donkey Kong and Deepwater would go to Gen Con, and this was going to be the year of the Gamecasters. We were gonna do some heavy promotion. We were gonna force our podcast down your throats, whether you liked it or not. We were gonna throw badges or buttons at you.
We were gonna wear T-shirts.
Natalie was gonna make sashes like the Girl Scouts for some reason, it was gonna be awesome.
I feel like we were gonna walk around like everyone knew who we were, maybe 100 people.
Yeah, like the three of us.
Maybe 100.
The three of us walking abreast in slow-mo, just throwing buttons to the left and to the right.
Yeah. You want a button?
Well, and we were going to meet people. Our plan was to meet a lot of our listeners.
There was a ton of listeners that were going to
go. And this happened.
Yeah, some stupid virus. I don't know. Something ruined it. But that afforded us the opportunity to get together and play games all Gen Con weekend. So what normally happens is Jeff usually reserves a Airbnb for the group of us, and then we stay in a house. And we like to think we just want to play games the whole weekend, but really we just spend the entire time at the vendor hall, which is awesome for us because it's kind of like we go to Gen Con, we get all the games, and then we come home, we play them all throughout the year.
And we play them at night at Gen Con too.
Some of them, yeah. But this time, we decided we were going to get together at Donkey Kong's house, which is where we normally have Nerd Fest every year, and just play. Just kind of almost like a mini Nerd Fest, but we were just going to do, just the group of us that goes to Gen Con was going to come basically have Gen Con again.
We already had the weekend blocked off. People had babysitters.
Yeah, we had time off already, so it's we're basically just having Gen Con with the Gen Con group at Donkey Kong's house, playing games. And that's what we've been doing. We've been playing games. I haven't done anything else in the last 2 weeks.
We literally leave our house and then come home and sleep and then leave our house the next day.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been fantastical. There's been a bevy of new games to us and new games that haven't even come out yet that we've played.
Oh.
Right? One such game is by Leader
Games.
Right? Leader Games. And I'll let Jeff take it from here.
We're just going right into it.
Do you want to not go into it? If you have more, let's banter it up.
We're going.
I don't have any banters.
All the episodes want to be the same length.
My brain is just nothing but fog and games.
Let's just go. Let's jump in there.
All right.
Go into games.
So talk to us about this Leader Games,
all right.
Jeffrey.
There's this new Leader game. It's called Fort. Fort isn't out yet. I was lucky enough to get a review copy from Leader Games.
That's so cool.
So it doesn't come out till August 25th. I'll say that again at the end. You can pre-order it if this sounds like a game where you're like, I want this.
Yeah.
You need to look. So you'll immediately know that Leader Games also publishes a game called Root.
Oh, I didn't know
because if you look at the art on both of these things, they're
Very
made
similar.
by the same.
Now that you say that, I can see.
Do you remember the game Vast: The Crystal Caverns?
Yep.
That was
Are you looking at me?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. We had it for a while. It's
It
basically
had a purple cover with a dragon on it. You love dragons.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was a big deal when it came out because it was every single power in the game was asymmetric. So one person played as the dragon, one person played as the guy trying to kill the dragon. There was one person that could play as these spiders, and one person actually played as the cave.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that you're all going into. So I'm the cave, and I'm just trying to kill you guys, right? So this was kind of like a revolutionary thing when it came out. Yeah, I played it one time. It was okay.
Oh.
It was okay. And then Root came out and kind of totally improved on Vast. And it was still, right, just asymmetric powers.
Yes.
Everybody's completely different, but a lot more cohesive and together. And then it had this art style that just brought it all together.
Yeah. So the guy's name is Kyle Farron. Kyle Farron does the
artwork
for those 3. And
he did all 3 of them.
Yeah,
because Vast is so much different. Style-wise,
he did all 3 of those.
Wow.
I don't know if he has like a team or if it's just him doing the entire thing, but he does the 3 of those, and it's very now distinctive. So I don't know if he's going to keep with this Root fort trend, but it's a very cool looking game. Like the cover is just like this is cool, and this is much lighter than both Vast and Root. This is a very quick, light. It takes 30 to 45 minutes. I like the theme. The goal is very cool. So the goal is that you have to make the most awesome fort.
You're building a fort with your friends, right?
Yeah. So while you're making the fort, you have to make friends. You have to eat pizza. You gather toys. So it's just like very cool. And then to go along with the art, it just gives you a little bit of nostalgia. Because who didn't as a kid love building forts, right? Yes. Like in your basement, you just built a fort in the living room, couch cushions.
I just built an adult fort back there where my workstation is.
Build forts for the kids all the time.
Yeah, like tell me in your little workstation, it wouldn't be cooler if you had like a sheet over.
Yeah, like a tent over the whole thing.
Yeah,
oh my god!
Like, let me go into my office.
I thought about that a million times.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool.
A bunch of pillows surrounding me.
It gets like it brings you back to your childhood. So it's a deck building game, and in normal deck building games, you have a deck of cards and you draw some cards in your hand. But this one has a little bit of complexity to it for how simple it looks. It has a little bit more to it. So on your turn, you choose 1 card from your hand to play in front of you. And each card has 1 of 6 suits on it. And the suits are cool. They're not like heart spades. I mean, the suits are squirt guns, skateboards, glue.
Band-Aids? Is there a Band-Aid? I think there was a Band-Aid.
Yeah, there's like, so all these kind of cool like kid stuff. For
Jackal. Is it
what
Jackal?
What might be in a fort. So there's 1 of 6 suits. You play 1 card from your hand to 5. And you take, the cards have 1 of 2 actions on it, a public action and a private action. And if you want, you can add more cards to that action to enhance it, but they have to have the same suit. So if I play a skateboard that gets me a slice of pizza, I can play more skateboards along with it to get more slices of pizza.
So in that way, you're playing the card, they're multi-use, right? So you're either playing the card for what it has on the action, or you're using that icon to bump up other cards.
Yeah. And what's also cool is it's something that I know in a lot of deck building games, there can be some wait time where you're waiting. You take your action and then you draw your cards and you kind of sit there. This one with public actions, you can take turns on everybody else's turn as well.
Oh.
So a lot of the cards have 2 actions. So the active player will take both their actions, and then everybody else has an option of doing the public action. So you can do the public action if you take a card from your hand and play it with the matching suit. So if I play a skateboard and I take my action to get pizza, Ryan could take a skateboard from his hand, play it to then get pizza. So you're always doing something, which is probably my favorite part of that game. And when I played it with just my wife Devin, we were just moving back and forth, like you were doing stuff all the time. So that was very cool. The goal is essentially to gather these 2 resources, toys and pizza. So as you're gathering these resources, certain cards will let you upgrade your fort. And you have to pay a certain amount of toys and a certain amount of pizza to upgrade your fort. And as you upgrade your fort, you get like a secret power that only you're going to score points for. So a secret objective. Those are called made up rules, which are kind of funny. You could also get, as you move up the fort track, you'll get a perk. And the perk is that special power throughout the game where I can add 2 more resources, or I can do something that's extra special. If you get to level 5 of the fort, you get the macaroni statue. And the macaroni statue gets you more points at the end of the game. And you do this and you play until 1 of 3 things happens. Either someone reaches level 5 of the fort, you reach 25 points during the game because there's ways to earn points during the game, or the deck of cards runs out that has your friends in it. So at the end of your turn, you finish your turn and you grab a new friend from the yard.
Okay.
And what's unique about taking cards is that if Ryan plays a card on his hand and takes his action, and he has 2 cards left in his hand, they go in front of his board, and I can take them on my next turn, or anybody else can take them until it goes back to him. So at the end of you taking actions, you draw a friend. So you take a friend from the top of the deck, or from the park, or you take from someone else, because Ryan didn't play with Doodles that round.
No.
So I can take Doodles
fight.
and add him to my deck because that card was pretty cool, so I can do that.
Yeah.
So
he called me a wang, and I got mad.
That didn't feel, so that was their own, that would be, some people could be like, oh, it's a little take that. It didn't feel like that at all. Like I was never like, oh, I'm.
The only thing I would say about it didn't feel take that at all. There was this moment where you were like, oh, these cards are all good. And then you're like, yes, what a great hand. But then you're like, oh God, I can only play one.
Yeah.
So if they weren't the same icon, if they were the same icon sometimes, you could like put them together so then you wouldn't lose them. Because if you put the ones underneath the ones you play, they all discard. And they go back into your hand. But if you don't and you have them left over, you put them in front of you, and if they're good,
I could be like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's sweet. I'll take
increase
that.
my fort.
And then I lose that. So
Right.
I liked that actually.
Me too.
I kind of was it was kind of something. It wasn't take that. It was really just more like, oh, this is exposed.
Mm-hmm.
This one's of it like, oh God, I want this card so bad, but I have to potentially give it to you. And more often than not, we didn't take each other's cards.
Yeah, I think there's only a handful.
It happened a couple of times.
Yeah, there's only a handful of times.
And every time it happened, nobody was like, no.
Yeah.
In our play anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to play it once. I played it once with my wife, so 2-player, and then Ryan, myself, and Donkey Kong and Deepwater both played it. Well, played it on Thursday
morning. Yeah.
And it was cool to see the difference between 2-player and 4-player. So in a 2-player game, Devin and I both reached level 5 of our fort, and that's how we ended the game. And in this game with 4 players, we actually ran out of cards. We ran out of the deck.
Oh, okay.
Which I was like, there's no way we're gonna run out of the deck. And we ran out of the deck. And in the game with Devin and I and 2 players, we had points during the game. We got more points. We were both at 12, 15, 17, something like that.
Before final scoring.
And in our game, I felt like we were at 8.
Yeah, the highest person had 8 or 10.
So it played really different, but I liked both plays a lot. And Devin really liked it. I think this might be inserted into some of our just quick 2-player games, along with like a Patchwork or Jaipur. We might throw Fort into there too. I think it's good. I think people are really going to like it. I know it's on Tabletopia or Tabletop Simulator because I know the McMeeples are playing it on there.
Cool.
And they're like pumped about getting it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And yeah, I don't know. What did you think about it?
So things I liked about it, I thought the theme was just the best part. When it was not the best part. It was an awesome, refreshing kind of a theme.
Yeah.
I mean, the color palette of the game is it just draws you. We look at the box. There's some games you look at the box and you want to play it. There's some games you look at the box. We'll talk about later with Sidereal Pundit. You look at this box and you're just kind of like, I don't care about this. There's other games you look at the box, you're like, that's a cool box. And then there's some games you look at the box and you're like, I want to play that because of the box. Fort is a game like that. You look at it and it just like, it kind of begs you like, come on, open me up. Put me on a table. Play me. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll do whatever you tell me to. I thought the characters were hilarious. I thought the artwork was delightful. It's like Root, but it's still different because it's humans. It's
Right.
in Root, it's all animals, and in Fort, it's actually people, but it's still the same kind of style. I thought the components were excellent. The player boards are dual layered, so you're putting things, like in the slots of the player board. Everything just felt good. I mean, the little pizzas. Little octagon pizzas were really cool. The little cube toys were just, they're all like silk screened and they have, art like, they're silk screened. Yeah, they look like the pizza ones look like pizza and the toy boxes look like a box of toys.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of a lighter version of a game like Glory to Rome, which is a great game, but suffers from terrible artwork and the fact that it's been out of print for so long. So Fort is a good introduction to a game like Glory to Rome, which I think is awesome. So Glory to Rome and Fort have similar mechanisms where you're tucking things into your board. There's a mechanism you can do that. Yep. So Jeff mentioned the following mechanism the mechanism where you can put cards under your card to boost the action of the card you're playing. So every card that you play has two things, one of two things on them, sometimes both, where you play the card and you can do the action, and then there's the other action where everybody can do it. And if you boost it, and you could potentially do multiple actions on both of these things if you're boosting them, depending on what the card says. And so you can take an action on one of these cards to tuck cards under your player board, and you can like stack them up, and you just use those for the icons. So then say I tuck a card that has 2 skateboards on it. Now every time I play a skateboard card in the future, I'm considered to have 2 additional tucking under my card, even though I'm just playing one card.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And that's like a Glory to Rome kind of mechanism, which is really, really cool. I like that it was really quick. I mean, there was 4 of us, and we got through it in, I don't even think it was 40 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
It was very quick. It didn't feel rushed though. I felt like it could have, like, if it went on another half hour, it would have been too long.
Yeah, that would
too long
cool.
for what it
I
was.
agree.
It didn't overstay its welcome at all, which was awesome. I really liked that. It had that thing I like at end of. So a lot of times I know I like a game if at the end I'm like, I just wanted one more turn.
Yeah.
I think I could have done this. One more turn, I could have gotten 10 points and I would have won. You know, the scores were so close. It was like me, Jeff, Joe, and Dave were all within 6 or 7 points of each other. All of us, if we did one more thing, would have gotten the victory, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like that kind of a game. So those are the things I liked about it. Some of the other things that I wouldn't say I didn't like, but I did feel like there was a couple moments where the luck kind of got the better of me. So there's these toys and these pizzas, and you're kind of using them for everything. Like you're upgrading your fort with these. So when you upgrade your fort, you upgrade to level 1, it takes like only like 2 resources. Then level 3, it takes like, maybe 2 pizzas and a fort or and a toy and like 1 of anything. And so I got to level 3 and all I needed was 1 more toy to get to level 4. And I didn't have any cards come out that would follow people for like 2 or 3 turns in a row where I could have gotten that toy. And then when it got to my turn, and so that I wasn't like upset, but I did think that in my head. I'm like, this could be a bummer. There's two or 3 turns in a row where everybody's playing and I'm just sitting here because I'm like 1 suited this time, and no one Joe played this 1 suit almost every single time.
Yeah.
The squirt gun suit, and I don't even think I had 1 squirt gun card in my deck, maybe 1 that just never happened to come out on his turn, and so I was never able to follow on Joe's turn. And so this one particular instance, I was like, I'm gonna get a blue and then end it on my turn. I'm gonna win, and it was like Jeff played, Joe played, and Dave played in front of me, and I couldn't follow any of them.
Didn't have any of them.
Yeah, and I was like, And so the randomness is a factor because it's a deck building game. You're drawing cards from a deck. You're drawing cards blind from a deck sometimes. I mean, there's other cards you can, but you don't ever like put cards into your hand. You put them in your discard pile, and then you draw from a deck. So randomness can be a thing. However, in this game, it's like we talked about. It's one of those games where randomness is okay in games that are very short.
Yes.
I
was going to say that.
Because I didn't feel like sometimes you play a game and it goes an hour or 2 and then you're done and you're like, that sucks because I lost under no fault of my own. In this one spot, if just that goes the different way, I win. Like that blows.
Right.
We just played 2 hours and I lost on luck.
This
game is like,
okay.
Yeah, you're like, okay, it's been a half hour. And that didn't go my way this time, but maybe next time it will, and so it doesn't hurt or sting.
And it's one of those
as
games
bad.
where, like, when that stuff happens, sometimes you just want to play it again right then, and you don't mind because it's not super time consuming.
Yeah, I felt more at the end like, if that would have happened instead of that sucked because it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And I've felt that like that, and I think that comes along, like you said, with deck builders.
Yeah.
I've played a lot of Thunderstone and had plays where it's just like everything's just coming up Jeff House.
Yep. Oh,
You
yeah.
just pull him and you're like, I got the sweet guy, I got his
I can
weapon,
kill
I
him,
can
I got all
fight
the light.
this. Oh, I got everything. And then there's plays where you're just like,
it's not working out.
Footman. You just draw these like terrible guys over and over and
All
over again.
like
You're like, okay, and you
the
draw
worst
nothing.
time.
Yeah.
Or you just draw all light one turn and then you don't have, and it's just like, so that you can feel that, but it just comes inherently with just a deck builder.
Yeah, it's luck.
Right.
It's a luck.
Yeah.
It's luck.
It's
That's why I'm happy that knowing that the game is kind of, it's not based on luck, but luck is a big factor in the game. It's cool it's perfect. The luck is commensurate to the playtime. That's basically what I'm trying to say. They didn't, it's not like this big game and there's this luck element thrown on that screws you over. It's like the game is inherently lucky, and you can do things to help you.
Right, so that's not a negative.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a negative. It's just something to keep in mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's probably the only thing I could say about it after the first play that, is anything remotely negative. Mm-hmm. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
I would
really
go check it out. Pre-orders are up on Leader Games. So if you go to leadergames.com, you can pre-order it if you want. It comes to market, like you can go get it at your local game store. It says like August 25th, but who knows how like your game store works. But it's within a month. you'll be able to find it, and it will
Little box too.
little box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like an equivalent box size, but it's like a half a normal box. It's a small box.
It's small. Like look behind you. It's like a box.
Yeah,
over
is it
there.
like Tournament of Camelot or like a slightly bigger
No,
than
it's a little
Patchwork?
smaller.
Is it like Team 3?
Yeah. Ish. It's like Team 3.
No, it's not that-
Not
it's
as
not that
thick.
thick.
But anyway,
Oh,
yeah, smaller box. So it's not
box.
going to be a huge
I'm trying to think
game.
of a game that's kind of
Watergate?
like that. No, it's not square.
It's not square. It's weird. It's like a
It's
rectangle.
like rectangular.
It might be its only shape.
No,
Maybe it's the
there's
only
another
A
game
unique
that
shape.
I had, and I can't remember what it was called. What's it called? It was based off of Glory to Realm. It was by Carl Chuddock, and I had it for a while.
Innovation.
No,
Innovation's
but it's
similar.
kind of that box size, the innovation box size, which is
So,
funny because it's kind of that style.
Yeah, and like Ryan said, it will catch your eye when you see it in a store. It will catch
it
your eye. It
definitely
has that cool like orange,
That orangish color.
red yellowy kind of thing. Man, it just
Matte
it
finish.
pulls you in.
Oh.
So check it out. That's Fort.
It's awesome.
Fort by Leader
Kind of
Games.
reminds the artwork reminds me a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong of those like kid books, Dogman.
Yeah. It does
Yeah.
have that. It does have that feel. It's very whimsical.
Yeah.
I like the artwork a lot. So we played another game after that. That wasn't the only game we played at the Gen Con weekend that I wanted to talk to you guys
New
about.
game.
We have been trying to play this particular game for years. I've had this next game I'm talking about for literal maybe 3 years.
I think
2 years ago at Nerdfest, I sprawled it out on the table, got it all set up and ready to go, and then it was about time to play, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing because it's a little complex. This game is called Sidereal Confluence.
I think I bought this for you for Valentine's Day when you lived in the condo.
Yeah.
That's how long ago.
Yeah, so it's been years. It's been
It's just been
actual
sitting there.
years. It's been sitting there. It's a bummer. Well, okay, so the reason it's been sitting there is because this game plays between 4 and 9. You need
Yeah.
at
What a weird
least
player
4.
count. Yeah.
You need at least 4, and it goes to a max of 9. And
You know we mostly play with 2.
yeah, it's
first of
mostly
all.
just Natalie and I that play together. Occasionally we'll have 4, but everything I've heard about this game, you want to play with more than 4. 4 is the minimum, and a lot of
better
times
with
the minimum
more.
counts aren't as good as when it goes to a high player count. So in Sidereal Confluence, you're trying to trade colored cubes with your neighbors to turn them into other colored cubes that are on your cards that you can hopefully later turn into points. That's it. Next game. This game was sold to me as Chinatown meets Cosmic Encounter, and I was completely sold right from that, as those are 2 games I love like more than a lot of other. Those are amazing games to me. So combining those 2 things together sounds incredible. The way the game really works is each player takes a different alien race, which has an asymmetric way it plays versus the other players. Everyone has a pile of cubes in front of them, but those cubes aren't what you need to run your machines. And everyone has this problem. So everyone's got a bunch of machines in front of them that they can run, which is basically taking cubes of one color and turning them into cubes of other colors. But we all start with a bunch of cubes that don't really fit into our machines, our converters. To get the correct color cubes you have to trade with all the other players. I need 3 greens and a yellow to run this machine that will output an octagon piece and 2 black cubes, but I only have 1 green and no yellows. I do have a pile of white and blue cubes, so I'll have to make deals with Jeff and maybe Natalie to get the green and yellow cubes I need to run that machine. And you can make trades of any kind using pretty much anything you have in this free-form open trade market style. So it's not just like, okay, I'm trading with Natalie. I can give her a yellow. She gives me a black. I can make a trade with Natalie, who makes a trade with Jeff, who makes a trade with Dave, and it's all one trade. I need the yellow from you. Jeff needs the black from me, and Dave needs the blue from Jeff as well. So we make this big Franken trade. And so that's kind of how, in my brain, I was like, this is going to be so cool. We're all going to be so involved, right?
Yeah.
So that's the crux of the game. You're trading cubes with your fellow players for their cubes, but it plays up to 9 people, so everyone is vying for cubes that you want, because there's only so many, and it's up to you to make your deal better seeming than theirs. To throw a wrench into everything, you have an alien power that makes things completely different than the other players. Like, for instance, my race had their own colored cubes that no one else had. They were gray. They were wild. So they were incredibly valuable as they could be used as any color. So I could really make trades with everyone. The problem is that my machines aren't quite as good. So I have to rely on trading my gray cubes for a pile of regular colored cubes, whereas Deepwater's race had this deck of cards that only he had, and he had to consume planets to run this machine of a certain type, but the planets had to be a specific color. But the cards were really powerful when he got them out. So he was trying to trade and bid for these planets that he could consume to run these cards that he had in his deck.
And Dave was just some trees.
Dave was just trees. Yeah. And the planets he got, it was cool thematic because he's trees, and the planets he got would produce double the resources because like the trees are like taking over the planet. Yeah. And Jeff had these monstrous machines that took all ton of resources to build, but when you finally built them, they were pretty powerful.
Yeah, it was like a weird dinosaur lizardy something. If you follow me on Instagram, no one can pronounce the name of mine or Natalie's. They were just like
you just kind of
a bunch of consonants just like stuck
Jeff
together.
kept calling his Kyrgyzstan. It was funny. Yeah, so they're all different. They're all really cool. And then so at the end of the 6th round, whoever has the most points wins. You just play 6 rounds. So things I liked about it. I loved the idea of this game. Trading games are so much fun to me. Bonanza, Chinatown, those are 2 of my favorite games of all time. I also love variable player powers. Cosmic Encounter is also one of my favorite games of all time, and one of the reasons is it's so chaotic and hilarious, and the powers are just so game-breakingly ridiculous that it's just really fun to see how to use those, and I love that. So fusing a trading game with a Cosmic Encounter craziness game together sounded like the most fun I could ever think of, and it was fun. It was a good trading game. The powers were fun to grok and figure out. The problem was it wasn't as fun to me as either Chinatown or Cosmic Encounter on their own. It was harder.
Yeah.
It was more cerebral. It wasn't quite as intuitive as the other ones, I would say, or as slapstick or as goofy. It was more serious. And I've heard nothing but things about how raucous the game can be, and I was really looking forward to that. I was looking forward to all of us standing up, running around the table, like, I need this, you need that, oh, but she needs this too. I was really hoping that was going to be how it was.
Yeah.
And there was so many times that all of us were just kind of like, how do I do this? I don't feel like I'm making any headway. I felt very stymied and stumped with my power because I was like, I'm like, I can't really get this to work. And if you can't get it to work, you're just not going to have a great time. Like everyone wants to make a trade that just, benefits them or is at least fair. And my power, for instance, relied on making trades that weren't fair. Yeah. And nobody really like, it's hard to value stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to give you I'll give you 1 big cube for a big cube of yours and 2 small cubes. And you're like, no, that's not fair. And I'm like, well, this could be anything. And you're like, yeah, but I'm going to make it a black. And I'll go get a black over here. Right. And I don't have to give 2 cubes more away. And I was like, oh, yeah, true. But so I felt like we were all kind of like that. We were all just kind of like, okay, how do I make this work? I don't know. It didn't have the fun factor. I mean, it was fun,
right?
But it didn't have that carefree.
The trading was
hilarious,
more serious than fun.
Yeah, it was just so serious.
And I think part of that was because of how much you had to think about it. It wasn't just a light, easy game. It was a little bit more complicated, and so because of that, the trading wasn't as silly.
And I think that part of that could be so as I kind of thought about it more. Because I did like it. I really did. Yeah. After it was over, I wasn't super disappointed. I was disappointed because I was hoping it was going to be more fun for all of us than it was. These
people who said it was super fun.
What do you mean these people?
I don't know. You said that you've heard it somewhere. Did they have more people? Because we had 1 more than the minimum. I wonder if more people.
Yeah, so I watched Vassal's review, and he said he's played it with 4. And he said it was really fun, but his favorite count was 7.
Okay.
I don't know if that would have. To me, it doesn't seem like that would have done anything to this current play. But anyway, so what I was going to say was, in a game like Bonanza or Chinatown, it's fun the first play, awesome.
Yeah.
Just as awesome as it's going to be on the 5th play, the first play, probably. This game, I really think it needs more time to figure out. I do think we would, if we played it 3 times, on the 3rd play, we might all have okay, now right. I know how to value things, and now I know what my alien power does, and now I know how, really what to think about what this game is trying to be, and it might make it a little better. So there's a bad part about that. So let me get into the things I didn't really like. Okay. The name. The box. The components. The artwork. The rule book. Dreadful on all accounts. How do you pronounce this damn game? Sidereal Confluence, and then it's not just Sidereal Confluence; it's Sidereal Confluence, trading in the Elysium Quadrant or something like that. Negotiation and trading in the Elysium
Google
Quadrant.
that. Is Sidereal Confluence a thing?
Yeah, so I was watching a video, and Sidereal is like of matters of space or something like that.
Oh.
And I don't know what the hell confluence means, but I know that's a word. And then,
I'm gonna look it up.
but why they decided to name this game that, and then have the box this muted blue?
It's honestly like it looks like the box cover, and I know they're reprinting it. I don't know if you're getting there. Sorry to like
No, it's
step on
okay.
your toes,
You're
but
fine.
it honestly looks like someone took the cover and just took a blue crayon and was told to draw the midnight sky with stars, and they just like used a crayon and then drew some dots for stars,
and then left it out in the sun, and so it faded.
And then the text isn't even for the Sidereal Confluence name isn't even like in cool writing or like in the stars, or it's literally just a black text box with white writing on it that says Sidereal Confluence, or maybe it's the other way around. But
it looks
like
awful. If you saw this in the store, you would walk right by
like
it.
you made it on Microsoft Paint. Like you went on
Yeah.
there and it was just like and.
Mario Paint.
I just assume the artist is listening to our show because everybody does.
Absolutely.
So I apologize, but I also don't. You should have done a little better.
Well, if they're making a different cover, they clearly know that it's not. Like
So
the best.
the normal consensus from everything, all the research I've done before we played this was everything I said ugly. You know, like weird. Like, why did they do all the components are weak and like everything is just like black, but the game is amazing. All these videos I watched and reviews I read were like, this is probably the game of the year. This is my favorite game. And so I'm like, oh my God, I cannot wait to play this.
The name, or sorry to interrupt you, but confluence basically means a flowing together. In a literal sense, it's about rivers, but it's more often used to talk about the coming together of factors or ideas or of cultures in a diverse city.
I know.
It kind of makes sense.
I know.
I know.
So it's like the coming together of different, like, species of space colonies.
You could have picked a better name.
Yeah, you could have called it space trading and it would have been more cool.
Space traders.
Space traders. Traders in space.
Space negotiations. The
Space traders.
It is the most boring looking game I've ever seen. And if you don't know better, you'd pick it up and you just say it looks terrible. So overall, I liked it. I did. I enjoyed my play. Looking back, I'm not like, damn it. I just I almost feel like I didn't get it. That's almost how kind of I feel. Like
your
I didn't
expectations
quite
were very high
get
too.
it. But the problem with this, the main problem with this is, while I really think it can be great, it's not. It's just not going to hit the table. Yeah. When are we going to get together, the five of us again, and we're going to choose that?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about last night.
You know, we have 2 hours to play. Let's try Sidereal Confluence again.
I liked it enough to play again, but what are the odds that that's going to get played?
Low.
We couldn't even get it to the table when we tried for years.
Part of that was the rules, which is another huge problem with the game.
Well,
you're going to read that rule book 3 times, and you're still going to be like,
how
I don't
many
know.
people you need? It's
just it's going to be a tough sell to get to the table. And when you have a game like Bonanza, Chinatown, and Cosmic Encounter that don't take long. Chinatown we can get through in an hour. Bonanza you can get through in an hour, hour and a half.
Yeah.
And Cosmic Encounter you can get through in an hour and a half, 2 hours if you have the right people.
Or 8.
Or 5.
No,
yeah. Right, exactly. Or 2 days. But for some reason it feels different because this game just has so much overhead and you're thinking about it. I don't know. What did you think, Jeff?
I'll go.
okay.
So I agree with you when you said that it might have been our first play. I didn't feel like I knew the value of some stuff, and I know there's a little player sheet in front of you that says
very little,
and yeah, almost too little.
It's teeny tiny.
That says approximate trade values, right? So they said, okay, maybe 1 cube is worth like 3 little cubes might be worth 2 big cubes. So it gives you like a little bit of a thing.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if maybe we relied on that too much.
I think we did.
I think
okay,
we did too.
why would I give you this when I'm not getting an appropriate trade value for it? But I need that. So is it worth it to just go, you know what? I don't really care. Just take this so I can do what I need to do instead of me being stubborn and maybe not trading something. Or we didn't know, Dave and I spoke while we were trying to trade of like, what is the value of a planet? Did we set something, So I think the first play might have bogged us down in that, not getting it.
Too technical.
I also think I loved when you were like, everybody has their own kind of cool power, this alien race. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's where the cosmic encounter comes in.
Yeah.
And I was pumped about that. And I kind of read mine and I was like,
what?
okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't as cool. I thought I was going to be able to, I might have had maybe, I don't know. I think I might have had the coolest.
With your bidding
Being able
thing?
to bid twice, I thought was cool.
Yeah, that was.
And I know like Natalie had something kind of like a deck of cards, but I don't know how much that was useful for you. But I wasn't as pumped after I read my alien power that I thought I was going to be. Because again, when it's advertised as Cosmic Encounter's powers are nuts.
Game-breakingly
crazy they are.
Yeah.
And they could just be over the top shenanigans in that game. So I was expecting that, and it hit that a little low. So that could be on me for expectations. The game is a table hog.
Oh my god!
And by table hog, I mean like an entire room hog.
Yeah.
And we played with 5 people. How big is that table that Joe made?
It's 8 feet by 5. 8 by 4. It's
5
a poker table,
players,
8 feet by
we were
4
running
feet.
out. We had like no room left.
Oh, yeah.
There's no room. So a 6-player game wouldn't have been able to fit on that. 7 players, we'd have to probably use 2 tables.
Yep.
Right, 8 players, you got to buy another house.
Yeah, unless you're like very like you're trying to stack but that's not fun. Like you want to see how big like your cards are. You want to see them all. So if you were stacking things, that would be.
But
kind
that's
of
a good
annoying.
point you raised, because part of the problem there is you need to. I think you need to kind of pay attention to what your other players are doing. And it's almost impossible because there's just a cacophony of cardboard crap all over the table. And you just can't, you're kind of like, what the hell is any of that?
Yeah.
I can barely focus on what I need, let alone what you're doing. And you need to.
And even if you can see it, because it's across, a lot of it's like far away from you. When you look at it, you're just like, I don't even know what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, it's kind of so it's got some depth there.
Yeah.
There needs to be a moment where, okay, let me look at everyone during the trading phase. Let me go through, and toward the end, I did think of something else you can trade. Like I remember asking you, Ryan, like, give me these resources so I can convert them.
I like
and
that.
I will convert
That was
them
a cool
for you, but
idea.
I'm going to keep.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep something.
Yeah, he was
as
like,
I
you.
convert
He's
something.
like,
Okay, well,
you give me this now. I'll give you the most of the good stuff from my output. Just let me have like one thing.
Yeah, so you're kind of using mine.
Yeah, that was cool.
To get something. So I thought that was cool.
a good
I
idea.
liked trading. You could actually trade your converters. I thought that was kind of cool. But I did like Ryan, like you said. I felt during the game, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I'm like, I can see how this can be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Once we get the game down and our race is down and that kind of stuff. And then at the end, I was like, I felt unsatisfied at the end of like, okay, well,
damn it.
all right. Like
It never ramped up.
Feeling.
It like never seemed to ramp up. It was like a lot of these trading games like Bonanza or Chinatown even, you're like playing and at first you're not really doing much, but then as things go on, your cities are getting bigger and you need like this one tile to finish that thing, and at the end when you pull it off and you make like millions of dollars, you're like, oh yeah, he's right. This didn't really have that. It was just kind of like, I built a few technologies in this round. I got about 6 points, 5 points, 5 points, and then I can't build technology the last 2 rounds. So what am I doing?
It seems weird, and I know that maybe I'm living in a world where, like, when you play pinball, you score like 1 billion points.
Yeah.
We played for 2 to 3 hours.
30
and
points.
31. Like 36.
36 and a half.
I won by 36
Right?
and a half.
No, with 36
with 36
and a half.
and
Yeah,
a half,
so-
and I won by half a point.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, all that work for 30 points? And I guess you could easily just change it and make it 30 million. And maybe I would have felt differently, but
I know
in my
what you
head,
mean.
I'm like,
I felt that way too.
Getting more points than
I felt
this?
that way too.
Yeah.
I felt that way too.
Anyway, so that overall, I think I enjoyed my experience playing it. The only time in my head that we might play it is, I think if there's 5 of us, I don't see us playing it.
No, me neither.
But I think maybe if that 7th person shows up and we buy another table, like,
right. We
could
gotta
be-
all invest in a gigantic
and we're
table.
like, hey, let's try to do something
try it
all
again.
together
Stars
again.
have to align. For
But
it
with
to
5 of
happen.
us, I don't see the 5 of us playing it because
No,
we have
there's
so
a
many
million
games that are gonna
games.
play something.
Yeah.
But 7, that's a tough number when you're not playing
Yeah.
monikers, which I love monikers.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a hard number. to
Natalie,
all
what'd you
play
think?
together. Well, I was kind of the opposite of Ryan. I had very, very low expectations.
Yeah, Natalie's not a big trading game fan.
I'm not a big trading negotiation.
Although you love
game.
Bonanza.
I know, but Bonanza's so
Silly. I think
and
it's silly,
so
yeah.
light. That it's different to
Sure,
me.
I got you.
I don't ever feel like China.
Business you want to get into.
I don't remember a
black bean
ton
business?
about
Yeah.
Chinatown, but what I do remember about it was feeling like like somebody's trying to negotiate with me and I'm just feeling like kind of like stupid, like I don't know if I'm like making a bad deal or, you know, and that's
that's where this could help you, because at least that player sheet tells you,
right?
Like you can look at it and go, oh, he's fucking me over right now, or you can be like, all right, that's okay.
But that's
what I'm saying. That's probably why you liked it.
I don't like it, like negotiation typically, because I'm just like, I don't really know if I'm doing a good thing or a bad thing for myself, or I'm just helping someone else and not really, you know.
Sure.
Bonanza's not really like that.
Yeah.
It's different.
Plus, I think Bonanza has more structure to it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe you like that too. Is that possible? Like Chinatown is kind of like Sidereal Confluence, where you can just kind of do whatever.
Yeah, like opens up.
Yeah.
Open market.
Right. And there's nothing in Chinatown like there is in Sidramundit that tells you what things are worth.
Right, yeah.
So that's why I thought maybe you liked Sidereal Confluence a little bit better, because you could at least track.
I didn't really know much about it, except it was a negotiation game. And so based on that alone, I was just like, I don't expect to like this, but I'm open to it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And so for me, it exceeded my expectations because I actually liked it. And I enjoyed playing it. I mean, when you were explaining the rules, I was kind of like, oh boy.
It was a lot. I sat there and I was like, what are we doing?
I know. It was
but
so
it's hard to explain.
Just
open trading.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain.
Right.
I will say, I feel like once we started playing, we all picked it up very quickly. You know, so even if someone's explaining the rules and you're like, what
rules-wise,
hell?
Yeah.
And then you start playing it and you're like, oh, okay, got it. You know, so that was good. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised how much I liked it. I think, you know, I'm glad you gave me the easiest faction.
Well, least complex.
Least complex.
Yeah.
So that maybe that was part of it. You know, I kind of didn't get stuck on like what to do. So that may have helped. What else did I say? Yeah, I mean, the negotiation was like my least favorite part of it.
It's like the whole game.
Everything you guys just said, basically, you know, was kind of just. It wasn't that exciting or that silly. It was just kind of like serious and thinky, and a lot of times, I mean, we weren't like overflowing with resources. So like what I got, I needed, and so I might have like a few things left over, and so then I'd just be like, anyone want this blue? I need a black.
That was the thing.
I wasn't
for me,
that flexible.
I had like 5 at the end of the game. You have like 10 or more things you can run.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
2.
I could only ever run 2 of them or 3 of them.
Maybe I suck at the game.
That's me too.
You know what
That's how I feel too.
Do something that I should have done.
I could run more.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the game, I think the last economy phase, it was the most I had, and I maybe could run like 6 things, but that's all I was trying to do because I had already done my last technology, you know, card, and so I was like, all I'm trying to do is get as many resources as I possibly can to get more points, you know. But other than that, maybe the other rounds I would run like 3 or so, but yeah, I don't know. The negotiation part was just like kind of like okay to me. Maybe we just weren't thinking outside the box and getting that creative with it, and that could be part
I thought
of the
that too. I'm like,
problem.
are we just not? I feel like we're just not getting it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt.
But in like overall, I thought it was like a good game. I actually enjoyed it. You know, I don't really like bidding. I thought the bidding was, you know, I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
You know, the trading was all right, and it was cool. Like figuring out like I need this couple things. How do I get this thing from these people, from everyone else, and to get what I need and whatever. My faction let me win all ties
during the bids
on colony bids, and I had this like separate stack of cards, like Jeff said, that honestly I didn't really do a whole ton with.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like,
and maybe you should have.
Yeah, you probably should.
Maybe I should have done more with buying planets.
Right.
Yeah,
Dave should have maybe tried more to get those ships to bid to get more planets to do.
But I
you know,
tried to. I'm like, anybody want any of these? And everyone's kind of like, no.
That was the problem. It was so hard.
Yeah.
Like there was times where Dave was like, "What do you need?" And I was like, "I don't know. I need 10 blues or nothing."
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, "Well, I have
10 blues
two.
to 1 gray cube."
Yeah. Right. It's like,
because
no. Yeah.
Right. And then like at the end, I remember like I didn't need anything, and so how was anybody supposed to trade with me? They're like, I want this from you. What do you need? I'm like, nothing.
Nothing.
And so like Jeff, I remember,
why would I give
I
it
was
to
like,
you?
I was like, do you want this? And you're like, yeah. You're like, what can I give you? And I was like, he's like, I don't have anything to give you. And I was like, well, I would just give it to you to be nice, but I feel like, is that bad for me? And you're like, I get it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. That's just like, darn.
But there was
You won
one.
anyway.
Yeah. You won anyway.
There was one trade that I remember being awesome, like and getting really excited about.
Oh yeah,
and that was when
it my trade that screwed me over?
Yes, but it was you.
It was my fault. I screwed myself over.
We were struggling back and forth. Like you wanted something and I wanted something from you, but like we couldn't get it right where it would be worth it for me.
And did Dave come in and kind of like, oh, why don't I just do this to you and then you can make it work?
You were trying to give me this cylinder and I was like, I don't feel like just that. I don't need it that much for what I'm giving you. And we were kind of like, I don't know what to do. And then suddenly Dave's like, I want a cylinder. I have this black. I was like, I want the black. And then all of a sudden there was like a light bulb between the two of us.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah,
oh, it works now.
You give me this and then I'll give it to Dave. And
that wasn't even the one that I was talking about that screwed me over. That was a good time.
That's just a moment I remember feeling like, this is cool, like how this happened to work out. But that was the only that's
another good point. I will say about this play, I was never, and maybe this, I don't want to speak for Jeff or Natalie, but I was never in a situation. There's a lot of games where you play and you're like, okay, this isn't what I thought, and so you're just kind of like zoned out. I was in. Though I was engaged. I was engaged the whole time. I was just kind of like, okay. I was like, I want this to work. I got to be able to figure this out. Can I have 2 cubes for my 1 cube? Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, darn. Okay. All right. How about you? Can I have 3 cubes for my 2 cubes? No. Oh.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know, again, maybe because I had the least difficult faction, it worked out for me that I started building like this engine of greens because in my, little synopsis of my faction.
Yeah, the faction, it tells you what to do.
Piece of advice, and it was like, hit this hard early on. And so hitting this one thing hard
from the
meant
back.
I had to pay 5
Bend this over.
And there it is. What's the time on that one?
Don't lube it.
I know.
We are at 46 minutes even.
So
Pop it. Twist it.
I needed green all the time.
Hit it. Hump it.
Let me talk.
Stroke it.
Oh, sorry.
She pointed her pen at us.
Yeah.
Sorry, sweetie.
No, I was going to say I needed green all the time from the beginning because of my cards, and that ended up working out for me at the end because I would get these like really good technology cards that needed like 15 or 18 green, and I already had a good way of getting a lot of them going.
Yeah.
And it just happened to work out.
Sure.
Where I think it didn't really work that way for other people. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say. Go ahead and...
So that is Sidereal Confluence by WizKids. There's a new version coming out. I don't know if WizKids is still publishing it or putting it out, but there's a new version coming out with new artwork. If you liked any of what you heard, I think it would be worth checking out. I don't think... This isn't a game I'm going to not... I'm not going to not recommend this. I think it's a good game. I really do.
It.
Every
just other... to be realistic.
Yeah, this is just what happened. This was our experience with it. And I feel like maybe Joe liked it the most of us, maybe. And I think the rest of us kind of felt the same. Mm-hmm. Which was, it was good.
Yeah.
It was a good game. I don't even know if it was good, not great. It was good. So anyway, that's Sidereal Confluence.
Is the art everything or just the box that they're changing?
I don't know. I would guess they're just overhauling everything.
They gotta do everything.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't spend all that time just to do the box, I don't think. So, we've been doing some Stonemaier stuff lately, Jeff.
Welcome to the Stonemaier corner.
Here's the Stonemaier segment.
With the Mad Board Gamer.
Let's hear about it. What do we got going?
Well, we're going to go from a game that maybe Joe liked the most out of all of us to a game that Joe maybe liked the least out of all of us.
There's no question about that.
So, we played an older Stonemaier game called Euphoria. And Euphoria also has a colon.
How old
it's called
is it?
Euphoria, Build a Better Dystopia.
Dystopia. I think it was his second published game. I think Viticulture was first and
13 maybe.
Euphoria was second. I can look that up while you're sprecking.
Yeah, so this is our normal Stonemaier combo with Jamie and Alan. Jamie Stegmaier, Alan Stone.
Yeah,
that's where Stonemaier comes from.
You're right, Jeff.
Did you know that? Anyway.
I did not know that.
And so Euphoria has first of all, I love the name. Build a Better Dystopia. I think that's just cool. It's creative, and I probably talk about this later, but it has like the theme. I feel like is cool. The theme comes through. I feel like in this, and I felt cool teaching it. I felt like, like as I was teaching it, I was like, I'm hitting the theme hard. I'm like, this is cool. They like this. I was like, I enjoy teaching that.
I don't know what happened, but after the explanation, I was more excited than I've been in a long time to play a
you
game.
were.
Almost Paranormal Detectives excited.
Ooh, all right.
Almost like
we should talk
Penny
about
Lane
should.
gas leak excited.
Yeah.
But only you, not everybody
Yeah,
else.
right. There was one
Everyone else
point.
was normal.
At one point, I don't know if you guys noticed, but at one point, Joe looked at me. He's like, "What is the matter with you?"
Oh, yeah, you were like, oh,
Yeah, he's like, "Why are you going crazy?" I was like, "I don't know.
I just like it.
So funny.
So in Euphoria, you are leading a team of workers to claim control of this dystopian world.
What is a dystopian world?
Ooh, well, so do you know what a
It's
utopian
like
world?
the opposite of euphoric.
Yeah,
like
well, here's what I always think of, like,
it's not utopian, it's dystopian.
people
It's like
always try
crap.
to build a euphoric
Yeah, I
world,
guess. One of
and
the
it usually
things was
ends up being a
Wasteland.
dystopia, right?
Yeah.
So dystopia stuff is, I always think of like Hunger Games as like a dystopian
Yeah,
world. It
okay,
meant to
that's
be
kinda what I
something that
thought-
was good,
thought.
but has become something that is
Here,
not.
a dystopia is a community or society that is undesirable or frightening. Let's build a better one.
Frightening world.
Let's build a better frightening
world.
My thing that I found says an imagined state or society in which there is a great suffering or injustice.
Wait, let's use
Typically one that is totalitarian or post-apocalyptic.
let's use mine.
Yeah,
Okay, you win.
Why did you have to look that up? That's not fair. My
Well,
dystopia.
you want me to
I
look
was
one
looking
up?
at it
Yeah.
at the same time, and it just happened to be a little bit different.
I don't like this. All right, keep going, man.
in Euphoria. Oh, yeah. So Euphoria is a dice worker placement game. So when I
Love
said you
that.
are controlling a team of workers, you are controlling your team of dice. And
Pumped up again.
each dice has 6 pips. It's a 6-sided die, and the dice are very cool. They're like gears on it. So once you like know what
I didn't
is
like it
on
at
the
first.
dice-
When I first saw it, I was like,
Yeah.
I can't read this. This is crap.
Really?
Yeah, I felt like really curmudgeon-y over it. Like I was like, I don't know about this. And then I started playing the game, and I was like, this is amazing.
It's cool. Yeah, they're like chunky, but on the die are like gears, and in the gears have like a dot on them. So on the 6-sided side, there's like one big gear with 6 pips on it, but on the 2-sided die, or the 2-sided one, there's like 2 gears with 2
chunks
pips.
of
So it's-
gears,
you just-
yeah.
you just- once you realize what it looks
Pips
like,
just
you're
aren't in the normal.
Yeah,
spot.
it just took a second
took-
to kind of
yeah.
get used to it, and then once you got used to it, it was really cool.
yeah. And each the number on the die represents the knowledge of that worker. Did you know that?
No, I didn't
Now you
know
know. And
Well, no, I did.
yeah,
Yeah.
So the goal of the game is.
Oh yeah.
And this could fall into our top games that don't have victory points. So the goal of the game is to get rid of your 10 authority tokens, which are star tokens. So if you hear us saying star tokens are the same as authority tokens, you get rid of all 10 of yours, you win.
Yep,
Game
on the
over.
spot.
You win on the spot.
The spizzle.
Which I'm going to look up if equal turns seems like it's something that makes sense, which we'll get to, and how the game ended. When we talk about that, which was awesome.
Man, there was a crazy ending.
It was
to this
awesome
game.
for one of us. 1.5 of us. I'm okay.
And
I did something
It
good.
happened to be the three of us.
The three of us
Yeah,
were
the three of
involved.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on your turn, you're doing one of two things. You're placing one of your dice on the board, or you're taking them back. Think of a lot of dice placement games are similar to that sort of thing.
Right.
And what is cool is when you take them back. So anytime you get a worker or you take your workers off the board, you have to do this knowledge roll. And on your player card, you have this sheet that keeps track of the knowledge of your workers. So it's 1 through 6. And any dice you take off the board or any dice you obtain throughout the game, you roll. And if the workers that you've rolled and your available workers plus the knowledge ever exceeds 15, equals or exceeds
you're right.
16, one of your workers is essentially figures out that you are running this terrible world and is too smart and leaves and will leave you. So there's a goal in the game to keep your workers dumb and just complacent and just being able to like do what you tell them to do,
That,
which I think
for
is
me
so
was
cool.
the funnest part about getting into it. Like I loved
I'm too smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I'm too smart. Now you take an action and it's like, all right, you're stupid again. Boop, 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 and you
Yeah,
lower
'cause
it.
we didn't talk. I like that we didn't talk about it as like, oh, I'm rolling too high, or like we talked about it
Yeah.
as, oh, good, this worker's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we got dumb. We
Yeah,
got
I'm
dumb
dumb
workers.
now.
They're not
Getting
going to
dumber,
leave me.
yeah.
So yeah, I love that. So when you're placing on the board, there's 4 big areas, and these 4 areas are kind of working together, but also not. Areas are like digging into other areas to kind of take resources, and the goal is to get resources, to turn those resources into better resources. You can collect artifact cards, and you do all of this to essentially take those things and turn them into spots where you can put your authority tokens. So you turn in resources, better resources, artifact cards to place your authority tokens on the one of the 4 areas of the board. Mm-hmm. That make sense?
Yeah.
It makes sense because
it's like a reverse point system.
Yeah.
It's basically like you're getting 10 points. You start, you know what I mean? It's like you're but instead of getting the point, you're spending the star.
Yeah. And what the star kind of represents is that, all right, I've used my resources to put my authority token in that area. I have a little bit of control in one of the areas of the board, and I'm starting to own this dystopia.
Yeah.
You're building a better one.
Yeah. And you start the game, which is another little layer that I really like, is that you start the game with special powers. So you start the game with 2 cards, and they represent some active workers that you use. And each worker represents one of the 4 districts on the board, and you flip one up to start the game. So it could be the green one, the orange one, the red one, or the blue one kind of thing. Yeah. And as the game progresses, there are moments where if each of the areas are starting to like dig a further tunnel or they're starting to advance a little more, your other worker will flip over. So you're not only working as the power of maybe the blue one that I have flipped over first, but I'm also trying to work in that red zone to flip this worker over, and now I get that power as well, which I thought was great.
No, it was awesome.
Yeah,
those little okay, so they weren't like game breaking. Okay,
no.
These powers they weren't like if you don't use your power, you don't have a hope in the game.
No,
but what they did was they gave you a little benefit that let you, it almost kind of gave you a direction on a turn, like, oh, okay, there's a teddy bear card up there. I need a card, and there's a teddy bear card up there that happens to work with my power, and if I take that teddy bear card right now and it's in the free spot, I'll get 2 resources. Right. So it's just a cool way of like, because everything in this game, I'm sorry, Jeff, I'm Kanye Westing you right now, but every spot in this game is good. There's really not a throwaway spot. There's not like, well, I can't do anything. I'll just go here and get a lightning bolt.
Here's a buck.
Because the lightning bolts are awesome. Yeah. And then once you get further enough in the game and you have a card that matches that lightning bolt space, you get an additional lightning bolt. And so every space is... I did not feel one time like I had a throwaway turn.
Yeah, me either.
No, and you're right. Those
other than maybe pulling
those
your
like
dice
special
back.
Cards, whether they're flipped up or not, gives you something to focus on, improving so that it'll benefit you later.
And you always you take these. So like Ryan said, maybe the turn of taking your dice back would be that, oh, I threw it away or whatnot. But what was cool is that there are a lot of spaces where other workers would bump your workers back to you. So there's there's also a thing of, okay, I know that Natalie needs lightning, and so do I. If I put my spot on the lightning, Natalie might have to go there in the next couple dice. She's going to bump one back to me, and I don't then have to take the action to take my dice back.
Cool.
And I think Dave said it throughout the entire game, he only took his dice back twice.
He's so lucky.
Which is nuts. So he was just like, he's so lucky.
I mean, how did that happen?
I know. So, and then I also like that when you take your dice back, it's not just you're taking it back. Now you have this tense moment of, I got to roll it.
Yeah.
My workers might be, I got to keep them dumb.
Yeah.
Roll low.
Yep.
So as I roll them, oh no, they're too smart. And
roll
one
low,
of them
sweet
leaves.
chariot.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you still have that tense moment of doing that. And things I really, really liked it. It was better than the good, not great that we always talk about. I thought it was really smooth once we got going, and I thought our turns were quick. Mm-hmm. The one thing I'd say, the box does say 60 minutes. I'm not quite sure how that would happen.
That was
Unless there's like 2 players.
But if
that was
again,
like
if it just
no
says,
way.
If they just wrote 90 minutes on the box or 2 hours, I wouldn't even have said anything.
Yeah,
if it said 90 to 120, I'd be like, okay.
But when you shoot
for 60 and I play a 2-hour game, I'm like, all right, you're wrong.
Because 60 minutes is like a completely different category of game. You're like, oh, we got an hour. Let's pull out Euphoria. But no, Euphoria is it's as long as every other game in that weight class, which is an hour and a half to 2 hours.
It plays 2 to 6, and that seems like it could drastically change the time.
Yeah, how on earth? I don't know.
So there was enough player interaction with this game in both a positive way and a negative way that got me that swung my emotions that I thought was just so cool. Where, all right, I want to work with everybody else who has this blue worker faced up. So because the more times we take these blue actions, the better benefits we're going to get.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, I remember talking to Natalie and Dave and being like, let's dig this blue tunnel. We're going to get cool at this. We're going to do
Dig a
that.
tunnel,
We're going to
dig,
be
dig.
awesome.
Here we go.
And also in my head, knowing that, I have a red worker underneath and Ryan has a red worker up. So let me kind of like, let's talk to him a little bit.
Yeah.
And I loved that. And then all of a sudden you guys like turned and started to go for like a different track. And I was like, what are they doing? They're bailing on this blue track bond that we had made. And I like that. So there was positive things of like, oh, now we're building this building together. So Ryan, how about you do this to build the building and I'll go right next to you. And I loved that kind of interaction.
Yeah.
Also with the tenseness of Dave telling me to go to a spot so he can also get a star and I can get a star. I'm like, no, I'm not going to help you in that way. I just it exceeded my expectations a lot. Like I was going in going, all right, I think I'm going to like it. I like worker dice placement games. That's cool. Dice look cool. Art was very cool looking. Chunky dice, player mats. I'm like, cool, this is going to be fun. And then I was like, this is really fun. This is really good. And I was surprised at why I didn't have this game earlier, why I haven't seen it a lot.
Yeah.
So I had a blast with it. Natalie?
Yeah, I'll go last.
Same thing. I loved this game. I had so much fun playing it. I mean, I'm not sure there's much I disliked about it at all. I even liked the artwork. I thought the colors were cool. But the gameplay was so fun. I mean, but we can talk about how it ended.
I will.
But despite that, I still had so much fun playing the game that I didn't even care how it ended up ending. Are you going to say that?
Oh, I will.
Okay.
I'll talk about it. For sure.
I thought, I mean, like Jeff said, I really like worker placement games, especially ones with dice. And it was again, like Jeff said, it was like really cool and different and interesting how you had to help others to help yourself, kind of. And like,
and you had to rely on others to help you.
Right. Like you kind of had to work together, but even though like you had to do that to help yourself, but it's also helping them. And so it's like this weird fine line you have to like walk and like Jeff said, so me and Dave both happened to have the same 2 color cards that we were working on. And then like Jeff had like one of them and you and Ryan had one of them. And so like we were kind of all like a little bit working together, and then we kind of took off on the one that we had in common with Ryan because we were like closer to the end of that track. And Jeff's like, what the hell? But then eventually, we ended up getting the other one too because we need to get all our stars out there. So it was all going to happen. And it was just like really cool how it all played out. I liked that the mechanic about displacing workers. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember that being like a very common thing in games.
Yeah,
usually you put them out and then you take them all back, and this is like
there's games where you can displace things. Typically in a worker placement game, you don't have that.
Yeah.
That is not a brand new mechanism or anything. No, it's not super uncommon. But it was cool. But it was really cool the way it worked.
Because the displacement was a benefit to you.
Could be, yeah.
Because it saved you from
potentially from getting your dice back.
Like,
yeah,
it helped me one time where like I don't have any dice. My next turn is getting them back. It feels almost like not like a wasted turn, but that's what I got to do the next turn and not do something productive. And then somebody happens to give me one back, and I'm like, oh, cool.
You're right. That feeling. That was like the coolest part.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I don't have to waste a turn pulling everything back.
Right. And then risking losing one because, I'm getting too smart on the track.
Well, so that was the only thing I could say about, like, if you already have 2 dice and then someone displaces your 3rd dice that you have on the board and then you roll it and it's too high and then you have to give it away. That's the only potential that could be a bummer.
And I mean, I agree with you too. The cards that you start out with, like the special powers, they weren't like super powerful. Like one of mine, I kind of had to like work to get this like upgraded resource to even use mine. And then at that point, once I finally got that resource, I'm throwing away a chance at a construction to like use my power, so it wasn't just like a rule, like a game breaking power at all. But it was definitely like a possible benefit that I used a couple times. And there's like some luck elements in it too with like what cards come out like Ryan said, there was like this teddy bear that he was going for, but I kind of also wanted to go for it, and he just snatched them all up, and I'm like, where's all the dang teddy bears? And
the dang teddy bear. It just happened to play perfectly into my
But I mean,
person.
I don't know. The flow of it was awesome. I just felt like it was really cool and different. The theme, I'm not really one that's like into theme, but this one I was into, like digging a tunnel, and then once you get here, you can flip your card over, and then you get the special power, but only if you have this color card. And I was like, everything about it was really fun, and I loved it.
Yeah, I thought
wow.
I agree with the theme. I thought the theme came through,
Yeah.
and a lot of times this is a Euro game. In Euro games, you don't feel that theme a lot of times. Like if you're playing Mansions of Madness or Lord of the Rings, you can feel that. But in a game that's about placing dice on worker spots, I felt like. And again, I think maybe it was the language and the fun we were having with dumb workers and smart workers and this dystopia, that kind of thing added to it. But
that was it for me. So, all right, I liked this game.
I know.
It's
Ryan
no
was like jumping
secret.
out of his seat.
I could not sit still for more than 2 seconds. And I will say, now I'm thinking about it, when Joe was like, what is wrong with you? When you're not having the most fun time and someone else won't just stop, it's probably makes it even a little worse. So that's probably what I was probably annoying him a little bit about that. And I'm sorry about that, Deepwater. But man, I had the time of my life
You were in Euphoria.
playing this game. I was building a better Utopia in my pants because this game was so good. It was so good. I was so shocked because I did not have any interest in this game.
You didn't?
No. Before Jeff got it, this was a game I never saw. I had always researched it, and the same thing had always happened. Like it was very mixed review wise from what research I did. A lot of people would be like, "This is the best game ever," but equally amount of people were kind of like, "Nah, this isn't." There's a lot of things about this I don't like, and so I just didn't have any interest. The theme didn't really catch me. I didn't think it was. I didn't know a ton about it, so it just didn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
So I never really sought it out. When Jeff got it, I was just, I was like, cool, that's cool. But I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to play that. I really want to play it. Mm-hmm. And so when it came out yesterday, I kind of had that same feeling. I was like, okay, like I'll play it, I guess, to kind of see what it's all about. And I wasn't really giving it a chance in my head. In my head, I was kind of like, I know how I'm going to feel about this, and I'm not super pumped about it. And then we started playing, and I don't know, instantly, almost on the first turn, something just clicked in my soul. And I was just like having the time of my life. It was like, we talk about this all the time, where there's just some games that you get.
Yeah.
And I felt like from the very first turn, I got it. I wasn't like, how do I so what the heck does this mean? What do I do? And I wasn't even I was like listening to Jeff explaining the rules, and I was like, I don't think I understand this.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, crap, I think I'm going to be that guy who's every turn going, so what does this do? Can I do that? Annoying the group. And I was kind of like panicked a little bit, like, oh geez. But from turn one, I was like, I'm gonna do this and then that and then this and then I'm gonna get this. Oh, I'm gonna put my star out first. And I got the first star out.
You did?
And I put it on my card, because I got I needed the glasses, and I got the glasses, and I just used that to put on my card. And I was like, oh. And it just felt cool taking my star and putting it out there, like, oh, yeah, I'm 1/10 of the way to victory. And then things like that just kept happening, and it was just so awesome. And then the only thing, it was funny, we kept jokingly saying like, an hour? Like, are you kidding me? It was like an hour and a half, and we all still had like 4 stars left. But it didn't feel. Yeah. It was more we were just goofing on the fact that
the box
says an hour. It wasn't.
I'll put a piece of tape over it and just change it.
Like I think Donkey Kong said it felt long, but I think he might have been saying that commensurate to what the box said. Like, he was expecting it to be shorter, and it wasn't, and he was just like, oh man, this is longer than I thought. But I had a blast the entire game. Those cards that you get, those 2 cards, they, like I said earlier, they are not game breaking in any way. No. I didn't even use one of mine. I had 2. The teddy bear one I used about 4 times, which was pretty good. Mm-hmm. My other one, I didn't use it once, not even one time. And I mean, I was still right in the mix there. Yeah. Like, it didn't make or break me. But just having those was so cool, because I'm not even talking about the powers they do.
The color.
Because there's like 4 different colors on these cards, And just having those colors lets you get benefits on the board from doing certain things. And it makes you want to do these certain things over these other certain things, which kind of in a way gives you a little path to follow without shoving this path in your face. A lot of games that just say like, do this to win. And so then you're like, okay, well, you're just telling me what to do. This game is different. This game gives you a bunch of options, but it's also not like you can do whatever the heck you want. You feel like you have a little direction because, okay, I have this W card and this E card. And that means I should probably primarily focus on building up the E track and the W track. So once they raise up, I can benefit. I can A, flip my card over, but B, I can get those benefits that give me additional resources. All because of those two cards do so much for you other than just the little power they have on them. They're so important. And for those things, I loved those things. They give you opportunities to put stars on the board. They give you a little benefit. They give you an opportunity to get more resources and gather more resources. And then, not to mention, the component quality of the entire game is just, it's Stonemaier, so it's through the freaking roof. It's to the nines, and that all works in this cohesive way to make the experience so fun. And if I was fully engaged in Sidereal Confluence, I was fully engaged on crack in Euphoria. This was a game I was like, I played my turn and then I would just like shudder and shake because I was like, I need my turn back. I want my turn to come.
He's not exaggerating.
No,
I was standing up, flipping out. Around. At one point, I went in the boiler in the
you went by the furnace.
And as I closed the door, I was like, I need to calm down. But another awesome thing I like about this game, Jeff mentioned in his explanation, is you can do one thing on your turn. You can play a worker, or you can take workers back. And that makes the turns go like this. There's a little bit of thought process, sometimes in later rounds. And, there was a couple times I was like, okay, do I want this space or this space? Like, you need to kind of figure out the order. Because at the end, which I'll explain in a second, timing really becomes an issue. Because this is a game sort of like Istanbul, where you're kind of racing. It's a race to get your stars out before the other players. And you're constantly assessing, where are we at? Who's got what? Okay, Natalie's got 3 left. I have 3 left. Dave has 3 left. Jeff has 4 left. Joe has 3 left. Oh, boy. Okay, this is going to start to come down to timing. So it can slow the game down a little bit while you're figuring out, okay, I see Jeff has the resources to get 2 stars out this turn. So then he's going to have 2. I still have 3. It's going to take me 3 turns to get 2 stars out. Oh, my gosh. And then you kind of, that can like slow you down, but it never, in our game anyway, there was never an analysis paralysis player who was just like, I have no idea what to do. I'm locked up. And I love that about this game. I love that you can pretty much figure out what you need to do, and you're not throwing your turn away, but you're also not taking an hour to think about it.
A lot of that goes to Natalie's point of all the spaces are available all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
where workers just get kicked back to you. Where in some games, even when we played Underwater Cities, if you're going last, 9 of the 12 spots are taken. Now you have to go, all right, what are my 3 here and try to figure something. You like try to figure out the best plan. You can go anywhere on the board on your turn.
Yeah, anytime you want.
It's so cool.
And like you said, like maybe the thing that took me the longest to just make a decision on like what I'm going to do on my turn is like when it got to the end and I was like slightly ahead of everybody, and I was like you guys could catch up to me so quick. I'm like trying to figure out like how can I get this last star out in the quickest way, in the quickest amount of turns possible. And that's probably the only time I felt like hung up on like, taking more time on what to do.
Yep. So there was a situation about halfway through the game. Me and Natalie were kind of neck and neck for a while. Like she had 4 stars, and then I had 4 stars, and then Dave had 5 stars, and Jeff had 6 stars. And so it was kind of like that. Now, so for a minute of the game, I was kind of like, all right, me and Natalie are kind of, it's maybe between the 2 of us to vie for victory. And then all of a sudden, Jeff gets a couple more stars out, and all of a sudden he's caught up with all of us. And then Dave gets his star out, and he's caught up. And then Joe gets his stars out. And now we're all in like the 2 to 3 area. And that, I loved that because you had no idea. And there's so much going on. It's not overcomplicated, okay?
No.
But there's so much going on that it's not super simple at a glance to tell what what he can do and how he can do it and when he can do it. So you can kind of look and go, okay, he's got some resources over there. He might be able to do this. I don't know what cards he has, but so he can maybe get the star out there. But you don't know. And so that keeps you stressed And it's the
Yeah, it's a
kind of
little tense
stress
at the
I
end.
like
Yeah.
because you have in your head like, I could do this. Maybe, probably not. No, probably not. It's probably gonna be one of them, but maybe. And so we were all kind of talking about it. And so here's how the game ended, our play, which was maybe a little controversial. So you're doing things throughout the game, okay? And you don't always see how these things you do help other players, okay? So for instance, these tracks we've talked about, they all benefit everybody that has these cards, okay? And so if I take an action that bumps up this blue track, that helps in this play, that would help everybody else except me. But I still might need the resources that I get to do that, so it was worth it for me, right? But so you don't see how it's affecting people until the end of the game. So the end of the game comes, Natalie's in this position where we all know she's going to end the game on her turn. And ending the game is tantamount to winning the game because you don't finish the round. So once Natalie ends the game, it's over, she wins. Okay, because that means she has gotten out her 10th star. Jeff and I had 2. Actually, Jeff, me, and Dave all had 2 left, and Joe had 3. Me and Jeff both needed 1 turn more to get all our stars out, more than Natalie. I think Dave too. I think all 3 of us needed just 1 more turn.
Right.
We would have all done it on our next turn.
Like, I got
so Natalie's
this.
like, I got it.
I'm about to end it.
Joe's like, well, it's over.
Yeah.
I don't think I can win. I'd take an additional turn for me to win. So he just makes a move he thinks is benign. When he makes that move, he advances this track up. And I see that after he goes, and I'm like, oh, man, I would need to advance that track 1 additional time, and then I could get my stars out. But what Jeff noticed, he goes after me, is that track also helps him. So unbeknownst to Joe, he moved up on this track that helped me and Jeff both get 2 stars out in 1 turn, right ahead of Natalie.
And I was right after Jeff.
Yeah.
So I put a star. So I needed 2 turns to put 2 stars out. Joe goes up on this track. Now I go up on that track and put a star out, and I have 1 left. Now that track needs 1 more bump up for me and Jeff to both put a star out, and he
Jeff
does
was
it.
already planning on putting a star.
Yep.
Before this track.
So Jeff gets it. He takes that, bumps that track up, which now lets both me and him put our star down, and he puts his other star down. So now me and Jeff both finish at 10 stars gone at the same time, and I just happen to have the tiebreaker. The turn before Natalie would have done it.
Dang game.
Yeah.
That we all had conceded, essentially. We all had conceded that,
Like,
okay,
Natalie's win, let's
this
play
was
it
awesome.
out.
Natalie's going to
Yeah,
win. Let's
Natalie's
go
gonna
through.
win.
And then, Joe went to a spot that he kind of thought was just like...
Benign. Yeah, he's
Benign,
just like,
yeah,
this is
and
just a
man.
nothing little neutral
let's do
move.
this.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing. That move he made happened the entire game. You just didn't know about it. Didn't matter as much
Yep.
until then. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And all game, you're taking moves that you think are
Right.
benign, but are really helping someone else
Right.
get closer to victory.
Right. That's what I was
know?
like saying
Yeah.
before about how it's so cool about this game that everything you're doing is helping yourself and helping others. And so it's just
You don't see it
really
really
interesting.
until that
And
moment.
I didn't have a dice on before my turn. Someone before me kicked off my dice back to me.
Right.
So if
You were like, I
if
don't
no one
have a-
kicked my dice off,
Right.
my turn would have just been
You know
taking
what?
it back, and
Yep,
Natalie
wins.
again.
You know
So
what?
someone
Natalie
kicked the
wins again.
dice
I
back
think
to
it
me,
was
and
Joe.
Joe went there, and then Ryan moved it up, and then it all fell into place where I was able to get my 10th one out. Ryan, it happened.
happened to work
Ryan
out
was
perfectly.
I went
pumped.
bananas. I was like, because I was already on a 10 out of 10.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that happened, and it just like an explosion released from me, and it was
Yeah.
I could not contain it was such a cool, the whole experience of that play
Yeah.
was pretty much
Right.
unlike
I'm like
anything.
standing there with like my hands on my hips, like, hurry up, guys. I'm
Yeah,
about to
just
win
gonna
this
win.
bitch,
Just move it
you
along,
know?
boys.
And then
Yeah.
and then that all played out, and like it's like my smile just
Well,
slowly
shit.
turned
Yeah.
to a frown, like, what is
Natalie was sitting there like,
happening?
I'm going to beat you all in Underwater Cities and Euphoria. Oh, and you guys call yourself gamers. Good job, boys. How long have you been playing games?
But
Yeah.
it sucked because I thought I was gonna win, and then I just didn't at the last second. But despite that, it was so fun. The entire game was so fun. I told Ryan, I was like, in my heart, I know I really won this game, but
Well, you did.
even though I
It was
didn't
me.
technically win, but it was just, who cares? It was a great time. And
Love it. I
yeah.
love the game. I don't know. That's got to make you feel good.
Yeah, I was
love
happy
when
that it
when
was-
people
Yeah.
love games that I research
Yeah.
and buy and There's like that's the best kind of thing. Like that's what I was hoping was going to happen to Sidereal Confluence.
I know.
I was like, I desperately wanted that for the group
to be like, whoa, this came out of
wow,
nowhere.
yeah, and that's how Euphoria was for me. So I thought it was amazing.
Well, I'm curious about something because
Curious.
We played with 5 people, and part of the fun of it was the whole, what I'm doing is benefiting more than just me kind of thing. What if you only play with 2 people and you're not really like helping each other that much and you're kind of playing separate games? I wonder if it's that as fun.
I have waited to play this with not 2 because of the things I've kind of researched. Have been like, well, it's fine.
Yeah, because
it's fine with 2,
but not
but
nearly
I've
this
held
level.
off. I've held off for that because of the things I've read. I might, because of how much I liked it, have Devin try it with me. So I do need to say we need to talk about. So we played with the expansion. It was our first play, and we played with the expansion. There is no reason to not play with the expansion.
I could not even tell you what the expansion was.
If you're getting Euphoria, if you're getting Euphoria, you need to just get the Ignorance is Bliss expansion, which is funny. Also a funny name.
Because and it's
basically the theme. Ignorance is
But it's also true for me. I was completely ignorant to the fact that we were playing with expansions. And it was bliss.
It added just enough, again, to just make the game better. So, it just increased little things here and there. I'm not going to get into exactly what it did, but trust me, just if you're going to buy this, buy the expansion, play them at the same time. You don't have to play the original game and then go, let's add this. It doesn't add this huge layer of complexity. Yeah. We played it. It didn't add time to teaching it. It didn't add any time to the game. Just get Ignorance is Bliss, smush them into one box and play it together. There's no reason to just have the base or to play without the expansion. Yeah. So get that for sure.
So that's Euphoria. Build a Better Dystopia by Stonemaier.
Should I continue just with a quick Stonemaier corner again?
Sure.
Okay. Devin and I played Viticulture again. You guys remember Viticulture?
I remember.
I never played it.
Viticulture, I was able to get the expansion for that. So we played just the regular Viticulture Essential Edition.
Yep,
which has a small amount of the original Tuscany expansion. So now they have an expansion called Tuscany Essential Edition.
So is that just the rest of the stuff that's not in the Essential Edition?
It's the more essential version of, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll tell you that. That's so confusing.
It is confusing. I know that regular Tuscany expansion is not in print anymore. There's no reason to even think about getting just that.
Yeah.
So the Essential Edition just adds into Viticulture Essential Edition. So the Viticulture Essential Edition is played with the Tuscany Essential Edition.
Oh.
Weird.
What?
But this is how Viticulture needs to be played. We played Viticulture once, and I was like, fine.
Good. Yeah.
Good game.
Yeah, me too.
Good game. Worker was good. Add in Tuscany, the game is like, okay, this is how Viticulture needs to be played. And Devin didn't love Viticulture when we played it. She said if she never played it again, she would have been fine. We played it with the Tuscany expansion, and she said, I didn't love it, but that was a much better game.
Okay.
So she knew that adding this stuff just made it a better game, even though she didn't like it. I went from going, this is a good game, to this is a much better game with the Tuscany expansion. So the Tuscany expansion adds 3 things. One is a new board. So you can just get rid of the old board. I have them both in the box right now.
So you will only play with this board?
I'll only play with the board moving forward.
Really?
I could honestly literally throw the other board away. I kept it in the box because
Yeah, you can't throw it away.
It bothers me to throw that away.
Yeah, you can't throw it away.
I will never play with the regular Viticulture board ever.
Wow. How come?
So the new board adds, if you remember the original Viticulture, you were placing workers in 2 seasons, and then there was kind of like an off period in the other 2. You got like a card. Now you are placing workers in every single season. So each season is now.
Does that make the game longer?
No. Because you have the same amount of workers. So even though I have 4 workers, I spread them over 2 seasons in the original. Now I'm spreading them over 4 seasons.
Gotcha.
I like that a lot more. It really it changes how important the first player track was, because now the first player on the track will go first in all 4 seasons.
Oh.
So that's really important.
Wow.
The first player, also when you pass into the next season, because you don't have to place a worker in a season, you can just pass and move on and you wait for everybody else. When you pass, you get a little bonus. So that's how you collect cards and you can collect more money and stuff like that. So there's also in the board a tiny little area control map that one of the new actions on the board is you place this little star. You place this star.
Is it really a star? They use those stars all the time.
You place this star on the map, and the map, there's resources. So you get another card, you'll get to upgrade your grapes, or you get to do something on that little map. And then at the end of the game, whoever has the most stars in the different regions get get points. So another little way to score points, not overcomplicated at all. The other thing it adds, so the first thing is the bigger board and the newer action spaces and the seasons. The next thing it adds is just these special workers. So it costs one more to hire a special worker, but the special worker gives you a bonus whenever you play it. So you might hire the farmer, and every time the farmer harvests, you get an extra grape or something. So that's kind of like the superpower for that. And the last one is these structure cards, which is a new deck of cards. And if you remember the original, there are different structures that you build to like increase your wine cellar. You can increase your vineyards in different places to do things. So there's structures. Now, everybody had the same. Now you get these cards that you are building your own structures that have your special action space on it that only you can take. Oh. So I can now take an action that harvests. Because all the action space on the board are now harvest. I can take this one. I can now harvest and get $2. Oh. So you have your own special abilities.
That's cool.
So you not only have special workers, you also have your own buildings that you're playing with. There's no reason. And I'm behind because everybody I've talked to about viticulture, whenever I post it on Instagram or I've talked to people or post questions, everybody's like, dude, what were you doing playing without the Tuscany expansion? And I get it. So if you are playing viticulture without the Tuscany expansion, I was in the same boat. You're doing it wrong.
So it sounds like just like Euphoria, you want to get it all.
I think you just get it. You get viticulture, you get the Tuscany Essential Edition, you get Euphoria, so just go to Stonemeyer and just buy them.
Yeah, just buy all their
seriously,
stuff.
man. And now Pendulum's coming out. I'm just like forking over money to Stonemeyer like it's nobody's business. So yeah, that's like Stonemeyer corner, kind of. And
sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Stonemeyer corner over.
Yeah.
So for a long time now, we've seen our good friends over at the Date Night Dice crew playing this trick-taking game. They've been playing it a lot. I've seen them play this thing over and over and over. I'd never even heard of it, and I was kind of like, well, this game can't be any good because I don't know what it is. Oh my God. I would know about it if it was that good, but they seem to love it. And it's this trick-taking game called Skull King. They seem to play it all the time, and like I said, they love this game. I knew nothing about it other than this score pad that they always post, and it had like extreme swings of points from like positive 200 to like negative 150, and you know, in the same exact game, someone gets negative 150, someone gets 200. So I'm like, what the heck is this? And me and Jeff have kind of talked about it, you know, in the past, kind of like, should one of us just like see what this is about? So Jeff got intrigued and went and bought the damn thing. Well, we played it, and I don't think I can ever play this ever again. I think that I was more stressed out playing this than when my kids were being born.
You're playing this game again.
I was shaking more than Michael J. Fox with 10 cups of coffee.
I was... Man, Spin City was good.
I was sweating
Back to the Future.
more than myself. Eating chili cheese fries outside on a hot summer day. I was more nervous than a mosquito in an AIDS clinic.
Oh my God.
It was the most stressful time of my entire life.
We weren't trying to get the Dice Tower.
I don't know how these people play this game for fun. I couldn't do it. I would shout a number out and then instantly regret my entire life choices, as I knew I was stupid and I was going to lose gobs and gobs of points, but then I would be right. And then it happened again.
Yeah,
and again,
killed it.
And then everyone started telling me how good I was, and that became a thing. And then that just made it so much worse because now I'm in the spotlight. Sure. I wanted to just kind of like sleek away in like third or fourth place under the radar, you know, like minding my own business with like a quiet, comfortable 30 points. But nope, I hit 200. And then 250, and then 300, and then 330, and now everyone says I'm a savant, and they want to see me play it again, and I just want to kill myself.
He was a savant. It was like
I was so nervous playing this game.
He was like Ryan was like Rain Man. Because we played, and obviously you look at your cards very quickly.
Yeah, we had like 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, it was like
before Joe's like, "Yo," I'm like, "What the hell?"
So we just did it like that, and man, I felt like I could just see like Ryan like picked his cards up, and all of a sudden he was like Skull King, boom 2, boom 2, and then he gets 2. It was just like he knew. It's like this algorithm went through his brain. Yeah. The Matrix, he saw the Matrix when he picked his cards up and knew, bam, I'm going to win 4.
I was so afraid. Literally, every single time I would say a number, it would be like one word. I'd be like, 2. Why did I just say 2? Why did I say 2? What am I doing? And then it just, basically what happened, I got so lucky so many times. It just happened to work out where I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to win the next 3 hands and I can't win any of them. And then somehow Jeff would play a red card. and I'm like, oh my God, I just lost. Yes. And then he'd lead and then play another red card. I'm like, oh, I have a red card, but now I can follow his red card and it's not as good as his red card. Yes. Like that. It just worked out and happened to me.
Yeah.
So we played, Jeff, I think you played it twice so far this weekend.
Yep.
And it was a ton of excitement that I did not expect.
Yeah.
I mean, I should have, because, Ben and M and Ken play this all the time, and they wouldn't play it all the time if it wasn't super, super fun.
Yes.
But I was just panicked about, I don't want to go negative. I don't want to be the one that gets negative points. I don't want to be the idiot who gets negative points. If I don't get 330 points, I'm going to, And so it was just really, really engaging. You were like on the edge of your seat. I don't know if you guys were like this, but I was on the edge of my seat every time. Like, okay, I have 1 second to make a decision, and I'm like, I can barely see my cards. I see a red one and 2 black ones. I was like, 2. And then I'm like, why did I say 2?
Yeah.
But really, it's like, okay, you could probably figure it out. And even if you don't, like, if you say 2 and you only win 1, you're only losing 10 points.
Yeah. I also like that you just say a number, and then it's the challenge of, okay, well, now how can I now figure this out?
Work? Yeah.
I can make this work.
Yeah.
Because one time in our last round, Ryan was winning. I needed some points. I was in
Jeff
second
was behind me
to come back, and you get 10 cards in the last round, and we were talking just before that, like, no one said any more than 3 or 4.
Yeah, I had 4.
And I looked at my hand, and it was good. And I was like, yo ho ho, 7.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm taking
like,
7
whoa.
tricks.
We were
Everyone's
like, oh my
God. And other people said, 2, 3. So the number of bids was like 15.
But the
so
funny
there's no
thing
way.
is, the first card he plays is a 3.
Yeah, so then I throw a 3 out.
And
I'm like, I gotta
everyone's
lose.
like, what
I gotta lose 3 of them.
I gotta lose 3.
Because I had a great hand. I'm like, I gotta do this. I'm gonna get 140 points. I'm gonna win. And I got 6. I was like,
So if he would have said 6, he would have won. And if he would have got 1 more, he would have won.
Yeah, so it's like this. All right, now I just blurted out 7.
Yeah.
How can I do this?
now I
I
gotta
thought
make
that
it
was
work. You're
fun.
right. That was probably the most fun of the game. After you say your number and you go through the 7 stages of grief or whatever there is from picking that number, and now you get to the last one, which is acceptance, and you're like, okay, now, just like you said, now I got to make it work. How do I make it work? And that's some of the fun stuff, because a lot of times you don't win or lose your bid until like the last hand or two.
Yeah.
It's not like Jeff picks 10, loses the first one, and then he's like, well, now I'm screwed. And now that doesn't really happen very often, it seems. It seems like everyone is like, okay, this could work. And then something comes out and it's like, no!
Yeah.
Right, and then it can't work out for everybody.
And you might play something and everybody else might want to lose the hand too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So your 4 or 5 of a color might
Could win it.
because everybody's like, throw off.
I'm
I
throwing
can't
off.
win that one.
I can't win that.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I agree. It was very, very stressful, but like I love trick-taking games, and especially trick-taking games where you're like manipulating how many tricks you want to win or lose, like the crew or Box in the Forest or whatever. And like that stuff's just so fun to me. But you're right, this was extra stressful, and especially because you had like no time. I mean, this isn't like we just did this. The fact that we had no time to like guess, and I felt the exact same way every time. I'd like literally like look at my cards and then have to say a number, and I'm like, I didn't even have 1 second to even think about what I just said. It just came out of my mouth, and I'm like, guess I gotta go with that, and especially the last round, I should have said 0, and I could have got a bunch of points. I could have got like 100 points in one round, and I said 1, but for me, I don't know. It's interesting because for me, there was no big swings. I kind of like stayed in like a 30-point range.
You have to risk it for the big.
Yeah, maybe you just got to do it.
Because like I was always close to my number, but I never would get my number. And even if I got my number, I'd only get 20 points.
Yep.
And then if I missed it, I'd only lose 10 points. And so the 0 thing is the real big.
Well, that
swing.
last round like we're talking about, Jeff bid 7, is you got 10 cards.
Yeah. And I never got any
I think I bid
bonus
3.
points. That was another thing.
Or I bid 2. And Dave bid 0 and got it.
Yeah, so he got
Dave
100
got 100
points.
points in the last one. I hit my 2, and I ended up getting a couple extra ones. So I got like 50 or 60. Jeff was 1 away from getting 140.
Yeah.
So there was like at the last round of the game can just drastically swing.
Nuts.
You don't
fun.
feel that was one of the things that was most stressful to me is I didn't feel safe. It was round 7 of the game. I was up by a bunch of points, and I was like, I could still lose. I could still come in last place somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I play this wrong,
Right.
or if other people like Jeff make this crazy swing and then just go up 100. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I know
it was a
Ben and
crazy
M
game.
play it. This is a good like. They have their cabin game category. I know Ben and M always talk about that. It's a good game for people who don't play games. It's a good game for, your parents. You're
Yeah.
sitting around, they like euchre or clubs or
Most people understand at least
spades,
the basis
clubs,
of a
hearts,
trick-taking
hearts.
You got it.
game.
All the
of them.
suits.
Diamonds. There's a diamond one.
There's
too.
a diamonds one. Yeah, they like taking these trick-taking cards game. This is obviously a little more, but it's also goofy.
Yeah.
You're yelling yo ho ho. Like, it's just
Yeah.
kind of fun stuff. So that
Yeah.
And we've appropriated yo ho ho into like every other game.
Yeah.
We're doing Sidereal Confluence, and there's a bidding phase where you have to like 1, 2, 3. Everybody flips their hand out. We would just go yo ho ho.
yeah. We even did it for lunch. Yo ho ho pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, no one wanted. You guys
Yeah.
wanted to eat pizza?
Yeah, I want Taco Bell. So yeah, that's Skull King. That's a very, very cool, stressful trick-taking game. Thank you, Ben and M, for bringing that one to our attention. So I'd like to take just a quick second to say to you guys, if you enjoy the show, if you like the show, please consider subscribing to us wherever you can do that and giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen. That would really help us out. We're trying to, grow the show and tell other people to like us. And it helps us if we can say, hey, go check out our reviews on Apple Podcasts. We have, this many 5-star reviews. If you like what we do, only if you like what we do, please, integrity, uber alles, of course. But if you like us, we would love it if you would show that somehow.
Uber alles?
Yeah, overall. It's German for overall. Integrity overall.
5,000.
555. 5,555. That's
So does,
5,555.
Does the company Ubers mean over?
Uber?
You said Uber alles.
I was
Yeah,
Uber
Uber
was
does-
always like over the top, big, large,
Yeah,
extravagant.
Uber means over. I think Uber directly translates into over. Yeah, so I guess Uber would mean over. Now it's time for our mad board gamer to regale us with all the goings on in today's Instagram inbox.
And now it's time for the Instagram inbox with the Mad Board Gamer.
Well, I'm the Mad Board Gamer, and this is the Instagram inbox. You guys ready for the question I posed on Instagram?
Yes.
Yes.
So we were playing Underwater Cities. If you remember playing Underwater Cities.
Oh, I
Oh,
do.
I do.
I loved it.
So we played Underwater Cities.
Good game.
Took a video. I posed a question that says, is Ryan having fun? 59% of people think Ryan's having fun. And that is your Instagram inbox. That is it.
So, for this episode...
Mainly, I didn't have anything to do or post. We were playing games all weekend. I didn't have anything to post and talk to people.
Hey.
The Instagram inbox will be back normal next time with a possibly slightly better question.
Maybe a little
So-
longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And more
Oopsies.
interesting.
I think the song is longer than
We've been playing
I know.
games for 3 days straight. We're a little.
Give us a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just talking about games.
So let's move on.
However, for this episode's game, we're going to take it back to a game we all love so much that we want to marry it. Or is it that we all hate it so much that we want to kill it?
Oh boy.
Or is it that we all love how much it looks in them boy shorts that we just want to bleep it?
So we're playing this one. Again.
One of those.
we're playing this one again.
One of those will happen. Yes, in today's game, the Association Station.
Oh my god.
Just kidding.
Oh.
Wait. So what is it for real?
Just kidding. We are going to play Miss French Toast's Marry, Fuck, Kill. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I have 5 more stupefyingly redonk MFKs for you guys to noodle out. To Rob Grokkowski, to Grok Paper Scissors, to Grock'em Sock'em Robots, to Grok and Roll, and other such words that rhyme with rock. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is
Okay.
gonna get
Weird.
This is
Oh, boy.
it's all
It got weird last time.
it's gonna get weirder.
Oh no.
Oh, boy.
Oh no. I just
right.
had a
Oh,
memory
no.
of
Yep.
something that happened
Oh, heck.
last night.
Oh, no, Natalie said. Oh, you guys want to go to
I asked her a
Arby's?
question.
Last night he was like, nobody from work listens to the podcast, right? Now I know why he asked that.
He asked that yesterday?
Like, well, he was making the game.
But she didn't know
you're
what
in
game I was
trouble.
doing. Yeah, she's in trouble.
Yeah, you're in
I
trouble.
don't want to pick work people.
Well, oh heck.
Oh, heck. Oh, there, don't you know?
Well, gotta do them there.
Yep.
Gotta kill one of
Gotta
them.
pick 'em.
Oh yeah, you do.
Oh, you going to marry that one?
No. Oh geez. So Jeff, let's kick it off with you, man.
Okay.
F, marry, kill.
Okay.
And I need the Y's here. You got to try to come up with a
Yeah,
quick
yeah.
Y on the spot. All right, here we go, Jeff.
Are we saying the F word? Are we okay doing that?
Or
Sure.
just say
All right.
If as long as it services the humor,
Yeah, sure.
I'm
sure,
cool
sure,
with that.
sure.
Because when you hit a
Humor's
really
number
good
one.
hard kill, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It feels great. All right, Jeff, here we go. fuck, marry, kill. Rosie O'Donnell,
Okay, Rosie.
Easy.
Bigfoot,
Bigfoot.
a dumpster full of raccoons.
What?
Dumpster of raccoons.
Wow.
Okay, the easy one.
Yeah.
Rosie's got to go.
I know. I was like, easy.
She's a racist and doesn't belong anywhere. Sorry, Rosie.
Over.
Bye. But not really that sorry.
So you have to either marry or fuck a dumpster full of raccoons.
Yeah.
Or Bigfoot.
Yeah. I think
I know what he's gonna do here.
I gotta marry Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I gotta marry Bigfoot. I can teach Bigfoot a lot of stuff. You know, like, we can just hang out. Bigfoot has opposable thumbs. Maybe I can teach him or her a board game.
Plus, he probably has a gigantic Bigfoot dong.
Yeah.
That you don't want.
And then I can be like, Bigfoot exists.
Yeah.
I'm married to it.
How
Yeah,
much
that's
money? You
true.
make so much money.
That's true.
Yeah, and then I guess I gotta fuck some raccoons. Because that's really that's a temporary thing.
A whole dumpster of
You just do it once. Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
like a
Do I have to
raccoon
do like
orgy.
Just get it
all
over
of
with.
them, or is it just like essentially the dumpster of raccoons?
Yeah, I think you're just having
Like I
sex
just have
with
to
the dumpster.
insert
Oh.
So
into
you know how
the
you
dumpster
open that
of
little
raccoons.
slot where you can throw garbage in? I think you
Yeah,
can
that's not too
Yeah,
bad. That's
jump up
that's
there
a temporary
and
thing.
give that going.
Yeah, that's a temporary thing. I'll live with Bigfoot for the rest of my life. That's
Be a
cool.
lot of hair in your house.
I got
confident
hairy
with that?
dude, so we're like, if we have kids, they're gonna be hairy.
Oh, you're gonna be cousin It's.
Yeah, and Rosie. Sorry, you gotta go.
It's so funny. A dumpster of raccoons lived in Rosie
Here's how
O'Donnell.
bad Rosie O'Donnell is. Rosie O'Donnell got kicked off of her own show.
Yeah, she's the worst.
Yeah,
she is
everybody
pretty
hates
much
her.
the worst.
So
Yeah, she's one of those people that everybody hates. Like, it's cool to hate her. Natalie, here we go. You ready?
No.
oh no.
There's 5 of these each. Okay.
Oh my god.
Here we go, Natalie. Number 1, Donald Trump, our president. Number 2, the parking garage troll at our work. We'll explain what that means in a second. And number 3, a tub of Hellman's mayonnaise.
A tub of it.
Oh my god.
I don't know on a podcast you can say you can kill the president or not. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
You just said the
word.
FCC's already, the government's already listening to us. So, do you hate mayonnaise?
I hate mayonnaise.
She hates
But
mayonnaise.
I hate
with the
eating mayonnaise.
What about
fiery
Miracle
hot
Whip?
passion.
You hate all.
I don't
You like the tangy zip of Miracle Whip.
But the troll.
What about some people do
All right,
mayonnaise
so
and like
this
ketchup.
parking garage troll, there's this guy at our company.
We're very
who-
mean. It's very mean that we call him the troll, but
He's just this guy who's probably not super attractive to Natalie. That was the reason I picked him.
Okay.
and he's very weird.
So what are you going to do? Donald Trump,
Oh,
parking
God.
garage troll, and a tub of Hellman's mayonnaise.
You put me in a very uncomfortable position.
Are you thinking you might marry the mayonnaise?
Bum, bum, ba, ba.
Yes,
I can marry you.
truly am.
I can marry you. I'm an ordained
I'll
minister.
just gag every day of my life, but it's better than.
Well, you don't have to eat it. You just have
well, the
to
thing
engage
is,
it. In
now she married mayonnaise. She's got to fuck Trump or a troll.
I know. Now what are you going to do?
Trump or troll, pick one. This game's called Trump or Troll.
Okay, well,
I know.
The
I
troll's
got it.
moot.
You got to fuck Trump because then you could extort his ass for tons of money.
No, so many women have already gone out and said they're being sexually abused by him, and no one cares.
yeah, no one cares.
She would not be able to extort him.
Yeah.
Well, then you're going to
What?
have sex with the parking garage troll. And there's no way you're getting anything out of that deal.
I feel like I have no other choice but to kill.
Whoa.
Right?
I don't know.
I mean, he's just the worst. I can't live with that man.
That man. Well, you could just fuck him once.
Yeah, you could just have sex with him one time and say you had sex with
Maybe I
with
could
the most
look-
powerful man on
Yeah.
the planet.
I guess I could fuck him and then like maybe somehow like bribe him into giving me like millions of dollars.
I like
I
how
just said that. This is what we just
Yeah.
said, and Jeff said that's not going to work.
But you could try. No, you might get paid on the side for it.
Yeah,
but
to
it's
like
not
keep
gonna,
my mouth
you could
shut
try.
or
You could try.
something.
He wants you to keep your mouth open. You're going
Bop it.
to suck it, fuck it, lick it, stick it.
I like how you've just
Extort
determined
it.
that you're going to marry mayonnaise.
Yeah, you're marrying a tub
okay.
of mayonnaise.
Hello, mayonnaise.
Like, well,
We're
that's a
married.
given.
Your lid is staying on always, but we could be married.
So you're killing the
You wouldn't
parking
even let the
garage
mayonnaise
troll?
be comfortable and take its
Yeah.
lid
I
off?
know. What about this poor mayonnaise? Don't you want it to have the time
Anyway,
of its
what was
life?
your final answer? Marry the...
Yeah, I guess I'll fuck Trump. Ew, gross. I don't.
Sorry,
want
parking
to.
troll.
And
You died.
Yep,
you
you
killed
did.
the parking troll.
Killed the parking garage
Okay.
troll.
I guess. I mean, I feel bad. He's just like he doesn't mean any harm, but ew.
But you'd rather
Boy.
kill a human being in cold blood than a tub of Hellman's mayonnaise.
Yep, that's what she said. All right.
Well, that's
your
how
face.
gross
Next.
these
All
two
right,
guys
Jeff, here
are.
we go. Number 2. Jeff, number 2.
Okay.
Ariel Winter. Acting legend Dave Coulier. What? Joey Gladstone from Full House.
I know who he is.
Or Dwight Schrute.
Ooh.
Well, we know what he's doing to Ariel Winter.
Was he going to kill her?
Definitely not.
Okay, I think I got one.
All right.
I think I'm going to fuck Dave Coulier.
Okay, I like that.
Just because once it's happening, he's going to go, cut it out. Just for that. I think I got to go
Or
with
he's
that.
going to be like, hey, Jeff, do you got any wood?
Wood. Did someone say wood? And he's bringing that puppet around.
Yep.
So that could be an entertaining. That could be an entertaining evening.
I didn't think he was going to F Ariel Winter. I thought he was going to...
Marry her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll marry her.
Yeah.
Because then you can F her all
Yeah,
the
he can
time.
F her whenever he
Yeah,
wants
right.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, consent's real. So as long as that's.
Yeah, he can F her whenever they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, Dwight.
He's got to kill Dwight?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well, I mean,
hey, you
Dwight-
could- if you
Dwight's a funny
No, I
character.
thought about
but he'd
marrying-
be
Yeah,
annoying
would
in
you
real
want
life.
to? Would you want to actually do him for a night? He's got that animalistic sex appeal.
First of all, he owns his own beet farm. He's got a lot of property. So if you value in property and you want to continue the
marry
beet
that.
Schrute farm legacy,
Yeah.
but you have to get married standing in the grave. That's how they get married.
yes.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yay. All right, so you're going to.
Yep. I'm marrying Ariel Winter, fucking Dave Coulier, and I'm killing Dwight K. Schrute.
In that order. Natalie, you ready for number 2?
Yeah.
Here we go. A nice bowl of hummus with warm bread. Bread you put in the oven to dip in oil. Or breadsticks from Papa Romano's.
Oh, man.
bread.
I love bread.
Boy.
Which bread is the bread for you?
Man.
I know what you're going to do
Is
here.
it just the bread or is it the bread with the dip?
I think it's the whole.
No, it's the whole
thing.
experience.
Yeah, the whole experience of
She's
dipping
totally
bread.
going to f the breadsticks from Papa Romano's because they're cylindrical.
Or the breadstick's going to fuck her.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I eat the bread though?
You can do whatever you want. Oh my gosh,
Oh.
we're getting into like praying mantis stuff
Oh,
here.
boy.
Good Lord.
Oh my God,
Yeah, you can do whatever you
it's all
want.
so good. I'm starving. I just want to go eat some bread.
Well, hurry up and answer.
Yeah,
we can
what are you
order
gonna
lunch
do?
and go play
Right,
some
we'll get some
games.
lunch.
Okay.
No, you're good.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I guess I'll fuck the breadsticks.
Yeah,
Fuck the
yeah, you
breadsticks.
will.
Where are they from? Papa Romano's.
Papa Romano's.
Okay.
Because
They got that like
in
crusty.
the shape.
Do they have like that
is
cheese dip?
appropriate.
at Papa Romano's?
Exactly. They're kind of like
Appropriate
They
shape.
look like they could be inserted
Yep.
in somewhere. Yeah.
Does it have
Oh,
that cheese,
man.
like
Yeah,
whipped,
dude.
whipped buttery kind of
No,
dip?
they got
or is
the,
it,
No, that's Dolly's.
That Dolly's.
Oh,
yeah,
Dolly, that's
like
good.
They're just like always like soft and they got like the cheese and they're
Is that gonna work for you if they're soft?
yeah, I'll make it work.
All right. Okay. So what do you?
Yeah, I'll make it work.
I'll leave them out.
Okay.
I'll leave them out of the fridge for a night, and they'll be fine. All right. So
right.
now you got the bread you put in the oven to dip in oil,
Well,
or
okay.
hummus and warm bread.
Guess, man, good hummus is so freaking good. But
Good
so is
hummus.
the oil.
I thought you could the oil. Put the oil over yourself.
I guess I'll marry the oil because
Marry the oil. The hummus?
so I'll marry like the bread,
bread and
with
oil?
the oil
Yeah.
because
Okay,
like
all right.
that's just like
Always awesome.
always good and it's just classic and it's like
It's classic.
I don't know. I'm Italian. It's like kind of an Italian thing.
Yeah, your parents will be proud of this.
Okay.
And then-
yeah.
This choice.
Yeah. They listen.
I will kill the
Part of this
hummus,
segment.
and then I want to. Maybe this is cheating, but I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the wine, where like I'll just kill that hummus, like
Oh, you're gonna eat it all and kill
yeah,
it. Yeah, I didn't say how it,
All right.
how it had to die. You're just gonna poop it
yeah,
out.
yeah. My stomach acid will
All right,
do it,
Jeff.
I guess.
All right, Jeff, I'm excited for this one.
Okay.
Here we go. Miss Swan from Mad TV.
Okay.
Stuart's mom
Oh, yeah.
from Mad TV.
Stuart.
Or Stuart from Mad TV.
Oh my god.
Stuart.
Let me do it. Let me do
Man. all these,
You can hear him say that
all
all
these
the
Mad
time.
TV things.
Yeah, they're all three from Mad TV.
Man.
That's so funny. I
Man.
love Stuart.
Stuart was like, he would like, was kicking me like, don't touch me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Let me
I'm like,
do it.
Stuart, get over here.
Let me do it.
I would always do that. My mom
No.
like, thought it was so funny.
Oh my
I'd like kick my
Yeah, with
leg,
his
like
leg.
let me do it.
And the Miss
He's
Mom
always
like,
wearing them short shorts, too.
Yeah.
can Miss Swan here?
Jeff does the best. All right, I put this in here
hello.
because
Yeah, Miss
Jeff does
Swan
the
is
best Miss
awesome.
oh
Swan.
my gosh. Other than the person who does Miss Swan.
Yeah, which is Alex Borstein.
Okay, he look like a man.
Yeah.
I'm marrying Miss Swan.
That's the lady from
He's marrying Miss Swan.
from Mrs. Maisel.
It's Alex Borstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's also Lois from Family Guy.
Yeah, and she's like talented.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
a-
talented.
good.
Yeah.
This like very stereotypical kind of racist Asian accent of hers is not indication of how talented she is as an actress.
Yeah,
She's
this
very
was,
good.
Like, this was a long time ago.
This was a
she did
long-
this.
Did you
yeah.
watch Mrs. Maisel?
Yes.
Awesome, right?
So good.
Awesome.
Good show.
So yeah, I'm
All right,
marrying
so you're
Miss
marrying
Swan. I
Miss
drew a little
Swan.
heart next to her because
Got
There's a special
in your
place for
heart.
her in your heart because
yeah,
you have
she's just Miss Swan.
Yeah, she's Miss Swan.
She's lovable.
She's pretty adorable.
She's got like that
kind of
little,
mean in a little way.
like
She'd keep you on your toes.
very bad like it's not even a bob haircut. It's like a half bowl,
Yeah.
half bob.
She's like
Yeah.
a little bit bossy.
Yeah,
Yeah, she'd keep you on your toes.
I'm going
man.
with that.
All right.
So then Stuart and Stuart's mom.
See, Stuart's got them short shorts, man.
Yeah, he's got short shorts. But I don't know if I can get as close to Stuart to fuck him because he's always trying to like push people
Get
away.
away.
He doesn't want
Yeah.
me touching him.
Yeah. Yeah, but then you gotta kill him and
Yeah, I guess I gotta kill.
It's like a
I gotta
man
kill. I gotta kill Stuart, and I'm gonna have to fuck Stuart's mom.
you could make another Stuart.
Because Stuart's mom, I would get to like slowly take off those mom jeans she
Oh
wears.
my god.
Like those mom jeans are like up to her like above torso, like almost under the like under boob pants. They're all way up there.
yeah, they're mom jeans.
So man,
that
that could take a while. It's that's a little frisky in
Maybe
the bedroom
she,
to.
like, well, Stuart would probably be like an annoying child to live with, so you just put
Yeah,
him
so I
out
guess
of the
he's
way,
gotta
and
go.
then his mom's fine.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going with.
All right, I love it. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Here we go, Natalie.
Okay.
Here we go. Your first boss at Conifer.
Your second boss at Conifer.
And your current boss at Conifer.
Yay.
Oh my god, I hate you so much.
What are their names? You know?
Sandra is her first boss.
Sandra.
Melina was her second boss.
Ooh, I like that name.
And
Melina.
Seth is her current boss.
You would not like her.
Seth. What do you think? Maybe I want to F her.
Oh my
She's
god.
a giant. She was a giant bird.
I know what I'm gonna do,
Oh.
and this is the worst, most terrible thing you've ever made me say.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just married a tub of
I'm
Hellman's
gonna
mayonnaise.
Yeah.
F my second boss because.
Malia's getting F'd.
Wow.
No, sorry, kill.
Okay. I'm
Oh,
like that was
killing Malia.
surprising.
No, sorry, kill.
Yeah, Melina's
Ugh.
going down. I knew Melina was going down. But who's going down?
I'm gonna F Seth.
F Seth.
And
then you're marrying Sandra.
Sandra
I
because she's
kinda-
a really nice lady. Because she's a really nice lady.
Okay. She's a nice lady. Okay. She's not a good boss, but a nice lady.
She's a great boss. I loved her.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that's a good one.
So
that
I
was
would,
easy.
I would spend my
That was
life
really
with her.
cute.
Yeah.
I was spending.
I'm sending this episode to Sandra.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Sandra
find
needs
her.
to hear this.
I'm gonna find her and I'm gonna send it.
She lives now in
Because now,
Lansing, I think.
yeah, because now she knows, like, oh, I left Conifer. I wonder how the new bosses are. And you murdered one and just wanted to fuck one and throw one away. So then you came back and were like, Sandra, she's a nice lady. Sandra should hear this episode.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Timestamp this.
Jeff, are you ready for number 4?
Okay.
So 2 episodes ago, we had Date Night Dice on the show, and we did a top 5 that were top 5 games to play on a first date. Mm-hmm. Jeff took it in a direction where
Oh, boy. A different one.
it was a little different direction.
Jeff's
So Jeff,
direction was
here we go, Jeff.
funny.
Crokinole,
Crokinole.
Bananagrams, and Animal Upon Animal.
Ooh.
These were 3 games from Jeff's list.
I hate you so much.
I'm gonna,
First
Sorry,
one-
real quick.
Yeah.
The best part was the realization when you were like,
oh,
like
no.
that question he asked me last night. We're playing fucking
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What's he gonna say?
Like all the pieces came together.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Crokinole, Bananagrams, Animal Upon Animal.
Yeah, but
I think I gotta marry Crokinole.
Really? Okay.
He loves Crokinole.
He does
He's
love
in
Crokinole.
I
He
love
loves
Crokinole, the game, and then you also you get like we said on the episode a few episodes ago, you always just try and put
Got a
something
nice
into a
tiny
hole.
Yep.
If I marry it, I can just hang it on the wall. It doesn't take much room up in my house. It's not,
Out of the way.
It doesn't talk
it's
back.
not messy. It doesn't like talk back to me. Whereas I'll fuck Bananagrams
Because it's a banana.
because it's a banana. And Bananagrams, if you like marry Bananagrams, it's got to be around the house. You might lose a piece. It could spill out, and then I got to clean it up. And then I guess I'm killing animal upon animal,
Okay.
which kind of sounds sad. I'm killing all these animals,
Poor animals.
but they're just
animal
they're wooden. But don't worry, they're a convicted
They're
animal.
convicted animal rapists.
They're all terrible animals. Okay, they're just bad
So
animals.
you're marrying crokinole,
Marrying
eating
crokinole, fucking
bananagrams,
bananagrams.
and killing poor
Yeah.
animal upon animal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty like abomination to make animals stack on top of each other. So you're just putting them out of their misery. Is really what you're
this
doing.
is abuse. This is
They don't
animal
want
abuse.
We
that
were
anyway.
like playing a clip last night of the top 5 from the Date Night Dice episode because he was trying to remember what games you picked.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like a really funny moment where we both just busted out laughing because you were talking about like I picked animal because
In
blah
the
blah blah.
background,
and then all of a sudden it went silent.
Ben's
and
like,
Ben's just
that's
goes,
actually a really
That's a good game.
pick.
Yeah.
that's actually a really
He's like,
good
that's
choice.
a good
and we were just like,
choice. It
Yeah.
was so funny.
because
We
you're
laughed
like
so
trying
hard.
to make it all like
Yeah.
kind of like sexual, and he's just like that's actually
He's like,
really
oh,
good.
man, I kind of wish I would have
That's a
picked
good
that
one.
for real.
That's really funny.
All right, Natalie. Number 4. You ready for number 4?
Oh, I hate this.
Ronald Weasley,
Okay.
Ronald McDonald, Ronald Swanson.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ron Weasley from Harry Potter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ron McDonald.
Ronald
from
McDonald from
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec.
Okay. I know my answers.
Yeah, I want to hear yours too.
You know your answer.
Yeah.
And Rupert Grint's dumb
Yeah.
face.
Well, I'm gonna marry Ron Swanson.
I thought so.
Because
Although,
what?
it might be a good lay.
Well, I would lay him while I'm married to him. Also, he's very handy, good at
Yeah,
woodwork.
Yep.
that's my. Your furniture would be impeccable
Yep.
in your house.
And he
Your house would be
seems-
perfectly
according
done.
to his ex-wives, he seems like a very adequate lover.
Adequate lover.
Tammy 1 and Tammy 2.
Yep, Tammy 1 and Tammy 2.
Let's see. Ronald McDonald. Man, they're both pretty ugly. Ron Weasley and Ronald McDonald.
Have you ever seen Ronald McDonald without his makeup on? I wonder what that would look
Yeah.
like.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna kill Ronald McDonald.
Good idea. Ron Weasley knows magic. You don't know
Because
what
he's
you
a
can do with
clown
that.
and clowns are just creepy and weird. I mean, I could get some free McDonald's, but maybe not worth it. And then Ronald Weasley, I'd just probably make his day because he's like a weird looking little teenager.
Oh. He's not a oh, you're thinking of him as a teenager now.
Yeah,
In this
whoa.
scenario.
But he's
Oh.
So we got the
Are you
FCC.
talking about adult Ronald Weasley?
I don't know. I guess
I was
don't know.
fucking Ronald McDonald for some McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting free McDonald's with that.
Yeah.
And then, I'm
thought
killing
that,
Rupert Grint's
then
stupid
I thought
face.
about the clown part. Yeah, he's not a very attractive
But I guess
guy,
Ronald
but-
Weasley could cast some engorgement spell on himself, and that could
Yeah.
make that
I mean,
night
I will
pleasurable
say,
for you.
if Hermione's into him, there's got to be something special
Yeah.
there.
He's got to have a
Yeah.
gigantic
Below
gorilla
the
dome.
belt.
Yeah. All right, that's great. So you are marrying Ron Swanson, you are killing Ronald McDonald, and you are banging the F. You're banging the
Out of the
soul into
Weasley.
Yep.
the red-haired Ronald Weasley. All right, Jeff, here we go. Last one. Number 5. Howie Mandel,
Ooh. How-
Gonzo from the Muppets,
Oh.
and a giraffe.
Gonzo and a
That's
giraffe.
very random.
Okay.
That was the whole
Well, here's some
idea. That was the
things
idea.
I don't think you knew. I watch Muppet Babies a lot
Yeah.
with Jack. It's one of his favorite
Oh,
shows,
really?
Muppet Babies. So I
Okay.
see a lot of Gonzo.
Yeah, he's got the.
But I have to now, as I'm thinking about this, I can't
Okay.
picture him as Muppet Babies because that would just be
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
weird. So I have to
that's
do
a
a
little
picture
bit-
of
that's what
adult Gonzo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slightly less
Um,
weird.
Yeah,
Howie
bigger
Mandel.
Lizzo.
Howie Mandel was the voice of one of my favorite shows growing up,
Bobby's World?
Bobby's World.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bobby's
Yep.
World.
So that's cool because I always wanted to try school like he did.
He's also in that
And then-
game show.
Yeah, Deal or No
Deal or No Deal.
Deal or No Deal. He's on America's Got Talent.
America's Got
He's on
Talent.
America's
That's the
Got
other one.
Talent.
America's Got Talent.
He's a germaphobe and he doesn't shake hands.
Yeah.
So I think I'm
Won't
gonna
shake
fuck
your
Howie.
hand. You know what I
The
mean?
reason I'm
Will
gonna
he
fuck
touch
Howie is just to see.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna have to bang Howie Mandel just to see
see.
his level of germophobia. Because he
Be like
does it.
a
He
bubble.
he'll like fist bump people, but will he like touch me? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Or will he
yeah.
let me touch him?
Touch him.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I do want to know.
I've had to have a
report
lot of
back.
sex with men and like animals
Yeah.
So-
throughout these things.
What did you say you're doing to
You haven't
Gonzo?
given me a lot. I haven't
He
done
hasn't- he
Gon-
just
I
said he's
haven't
gonna
done
bang
Gonzo yet.
Okay.
Howie.
Oh, you're just banging Howie.
I'm
just
just gonna
to see.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bang Howie,
See how that goes.
and then he's gone.
Exactly. I would like to know about this.
And I have to kill Gonzo because he's my least favorite
Of the Muppets.
Muppet Babies.
He's kind of annoying.
He's kind of annoying.
Got that,
His-
that voice.
Oh,
but
right.
there is some jokes in there with his nose. Being
Well, that's
some
what I was
things.
like.
Yeah,
You could bang that nose.
You could bang, but you gotta go. He's Gonzo. He's,
Okay.
Yeah, he's gotta go. If you
So-
said Fozzie Bear, I would have married Fozzie Bear.
You're
And then I guess I'm gonna marry a giraffe. Yeah.
It'd be cool to have a giraffe in your backyard.
Giraffes are adorable. Everyone loves giraffes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You could
I know.
You could just ride on him everywhere
Yeah.
you need to go.
Yeah.
It'd be cool. I don't know if I have the adequate space or like food for
You'll
a
figure it
giraffe,
out.
but I think we can
All
figure it
new
out.
couples have
Land.
challenges.
Yeah.
You'll figure it
A
out.
few
You'll get there.
acres.
Yeah.
It takes a village.
Yeah, I've had to do some weird things to some people.
All right, Natalie, here's your last one.
Okay.
You ready for this? Alexander Hamilton,
Alexander.
George Washington, or Aaron Burr?
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
Hey, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Let's see.
How are you going to interpret this question? The actual historical figures, or are you going from the play, Hamilton? It's up to you.
Oh, like the actors in the play?
Jeff wants it to be historical figures.
I think I'm going to go
Historical
historical figures.
Yeah, good. All right.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to kill Aaron Burr because he kind of just...
He deserves
seems
it?
like a dick.
We killed Alexander Hamilton.
Killed Alexander Hamilton. He's
Spoilers.
kind of like stuck up. He's like a trust fund baby. You know, he's like kind
You
of
can
cocky.
trust him. That means he got money, though.
I know.
The other two do,
But
too.
I think that
So we're
I'm
killing
gonna
Aaron Burr.
Marry.
Hold on, are you going to kill Aaron Burr in a duel?
Possibly,
You know you're going to win.
Yeah.
You know you're going to win. He's dead.
No, I think you should cut his throat with a $10 bill. And be like, ha!
Because that's Alexander Hamilton's.
Yeah, because Hamilton's on the $10 bill.
That's great.
Well, here's like a fun fact I learned.
Fun
Just
fact.
Side note.
Uh-huh.
So, Aaron Burr, he got remarried. Like he got divorced and then he got remarried to another woman like late in life, and then he wasn't married to her very
Yeah, and
long.
late in life is like 50.
No, he lived to be like
Did he
80.
live
in his 80s?
Did he?
Yeah. So he like got
found that
married
already
to
killed
her.
Hamilton,
Then
though.
they were getting divorced. So she wanted to divorce him. She hired Alexander Hamilton's son to be her divorce attorney.
Oh.
And the day the divorce was final was the day he died.
Whoa.
Isn't that
The
interesting?
day Burr died?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
The-
weird.
He died the day his divorce was final from this woman who hired Alexander Hamilton Jr. as her divorce
That is the
attorney.
ultimate.
How weird.
That is the ultimate, like, give.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that nuts? Anyway.
Wow.
All right, so who you have?
Anyway.
Yeah, so we know you're
So you
killing
kill
Aaron Burr.
Burr.
You got some work to do here,
If
girl.
it was the actors, it would be a totally different story.
Nope.
Because
not,
that
though.
man is talented and has an amazing voice. But
Good.
we're talking about the historical figures.
Yep.
Historical figures?
I think I'm going to marry George Washington because, I mean, he's the first president of the United States
Yeah,
of America.
he was?
He was a good man. He seems like a stand-up guy, and
Seems like it.
He seems
Yeah.
like he wasn't
Maybe.
racist and owned slaves, but we'll just be
right. And
But
then
anyway.
Alexander Hamilton, I'm gonna fuck him because he seemed like a ladies' man. You know,
They all were.
Yeah.
He was like kind of like Angelica, the sister of his wife.
Right.
He also had the other like
Gonorrhea.
Mariah girl on the side, and so I was like, obviously people are like throwing themselves at him. Maybe I should see what that's
Gotta see what it's all about.
Man,
Yeah.
would you think you have to fight? Is Martha his wife's name? Martha Washington?
Martha,
Yeah.
You have
No,
to like
there would
fight
be
her.
no
You think it'd be
Martha.
like,
I'm Martha.
oh, you are the Martha.
Yeah, I am the first
Washington's
lady
gonna
of the
cross your
United
Delaware.
States of America.
Oh,
First
And,
that
like,
was a history
I don't
joke.
know. And then
Know what I'm talking about?
I don't think she heard you.
I said Washington's gonna cross your Delaware.
yeah. Well, and like, I mean, I don't know how accurate the play is. That's where most of my information is coming from. But like, the fact that like Washington like stepped down as president, you know, it just seems like he's just like one of those men that are just like,
And he did free all his slaves before he died.
like he seems like a good guy. So I want to marry him. The end.
Okay, that's nice. So that was Fuck, Marry, Kill, episode 2 of that. Thanks
Episode
again,
2.
Miss French Toast, for putting that idea into my brain a long time ago.
We're not short
So,
on time at all.
We are over.
I know.
Oh boy.
So here we go. We're going to end the show off with our top 5 things to do during a gameplay.
Oh, okay.
Natalie wrote down the wrong.
What did you
top
think?
five.
I said 5 things I do while playing games.
Isn't that
Yeah,
what I just said?
That's fine.
You said to do.
Sure.
These aren't things
That's the same
to
thing.
do. These are just things that I personally. You'll see.
Okay, because I'm
Okay.
not understanding the difference
We'll
here.
get it.
But
Yeah.
it's what
Like it's a thing.
you made
I-
it sound like. Oh crap! I did.
No, it's not like what do you do while you're playing games like to entertain yourself kind of thing. It's more like these are like quirky weird things that I do.
What's the difference, Natalie?
Okay, I'm glad there's no difference in your head. Let's continue.
Okay. All right. We're going to go me, Natalie, Jeff this time. So here is the number 5 thing that I do while a game is being played.
Okay.
Number 5, panic about what the hell I'm going to do. And oh my God, is Natalie going to take my stuff? Oh my God, please no.
take my stuff.
That's my number 5.
You worry.
Yeah, I freak out.
we're-
I worry. I
Yeah.
mean, you guys have played enough games with me that you know
Yeah.
that there's a lot of times where my hands are just like, uh-oh. Or
Yeah.
that was part of the reason, like Euphoria. Like I took my turn. I was like, I have my next 3 turns.
Yeah.
But if someone does this, I gotta get up and go do this. Like, oh my God. You know what I mean? It was like that kind of stuff.
I have a example. There's a lot of times where like I don't notice that you're like in your head. I think you're just like, please don't go there, please don't go there, please don't go there, and I don't know you're thinking that, and so I go somewhere, and then all of a sudden there's a loud
there's a giant outburst. I'm like, no!
and that scares the crap out of me. I'm like, oh God, what?
Yeah, I try to act cool sometimes in those moments where I'm like, oh, I'll just sit and like,
Yep.
but don't
And then
go.
it happens, don't
Devin,
do it.
don't you dare
Don't
put that thing in
do
your
it.
shoe. Like, oh. Yeah.
So that's probably my number 5. Natalie, what about you? What's your number 5?
My number 5 is 100% of the time without fail, I will yawn.
During rules explanation?
Explanation.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't help
everybody.
it.
And then
It's
does
not
Ryan give
because
you
I'm
a-
tired. It's not because I'm
give you a hard
bored.
time?
It's just like a thing that
I
just
used-
happens.
Well, yeah, it
Yeah.
happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be like, am I boring you? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saying yawn, I need. I feel
I
like
know,
I need
I
to
know,
yawn
me too.
now.
It's
I
like
have
right
that.
here. It's like right there, like right under your neck.
Yeah.
I'd always like cover my mouth for a while because I'd feel bad.
There it
Yeah.
is. There's mine.
So this list always makes me think of everybody has weird like quirks. So I do
Yeah.
challenge you if you're listening, if you're still listening. Think about the weird stuff that you do during game night or what you do
Yeah.
at your game night. I eat.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
And Devin and I, and this is specific to Devin and I, we
Every time you play
snack.
games.
We snack a lot and we eat like candy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like a little bowl, and we'll like have Mike and Ike's or like Milk Duds. But we'll just, for some reason, we have this little bowl that we just keep refilling over
Well, you
and
know
over
what?
and
You know
over
what
again.
it's like. It's like you're sitting down for a couple hours to do something entertaining, right? Like going to the movies. What do you do at the
Yeah,
movies?
you eat popcorn, and we'll eat popcorn. So it's
snacks.
It's a part of like
Milk Duds.
eating, and then that comes into like, if I do this, you're getting the Milk Duds, or
Yep.
it's like it's so we.
It's just fun.
We have a snack while we're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love
That's
that.
something I do.
All right. My number 4 is I love to, especially when Natalie and I are playing, listen to music. We just put on some music in the background. We typically do like, what have we been doing lately? We do like the Lumineers station a lot, just kind of, and we just kind of turn it down a little bit. And it's just cool to have in the background because there's a lot of games we play, because Natalie and I are into like heavier Euro games where we're silent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We play games like on a date
So
night
while
kind of
you're
thing,
waiting
but
for your
we're
turn,
still
it's
just like
nice
really
to-
like silent, So we listen to music. So that's number 4 for me. What about you, Natalie?
Well, it's really funny that you say that. My number 4 says, struggle to decide if and what music to listen to and always ultimately default to the Head in the Heart station or if Ryan picks classic rock.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, we've been into the Head and the Heart lately. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's right. That's number 4. Oh, both music things. That's adorable.
Cute.
Jeff, what about you, man?
My number
Yeah,
4,
cute.
Devin and I don't usually listen to music. We will watch something on TV, and by watch, it's just in the background.
Yeah.
Same,
It is
same,
just-
same idea.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
background noise, and we have like kind of a lit. We either watch like some comedy or rom com, so we'll put on like Step Brothers or like Night at the Roxbury's or some just goofy thing that we've seen that just
Yeah.
plays.
You don't have
and
to
we'll,
pay attention
like
to
we
it.
when we were going through like Charterstone, we're not through it yet, but Charterstone, we'd always watch either a part of the Austin Powers movie. So we would watch all the Austin Powers movies and be like, all right, Charterstone and Austin Powers movies. So that's cool. Or we'll put on like a show and watch, 6 episodes of Parks and Rec or 6 episodes of The Office or Arrested
Yeah.
Development. And that's just on,
That's
which is
cool.
kind of cool. So in between turns,
you can
I'll
just- you have
get a
something to do.
like, come on, Michael. And I'll just laugh or like, so that's cool. And it's just kind of creates a more fun sort of thing instead of, again, just sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving things. So
That's
we
awesome.
like to watch some TV.
Yeah, for some reason we don't do that. I don't know if it would be
Well,
a little
like,
too
here-
distracting for
Here-
us.
we don't really have a place where
Yeah,
the TV
I mean,
is
I
convenient
can
to watch.
see
where
it.
we're
Yeah.
playing.
Natalie wouldn't be able to see it.
And then upstairs in the kitchen, the TV's in the other room.
Yeah, it doesn't work
Yeah.
out. I wonder. It might be a little too distracting for me personally.
Yeah.
Because I would just be watching it like, oh, this part's gonna. Okay,
Yeah.
number 3 for me is I like to crack wise and say complete and utter nonsense things while I move my pieces around the board.
Yep.
Like I'm just going to flingle and things like that.
He does
Just
flingle,
all
swangle.
the time. I dingle
Yeah.
my
You
dangle.
dingle his dangle.
I even jingle my jangle.
Yep,
Yep.
all those things.
Sometimes
he
I
does
bingle
on a
my
daily
bangle.
basis.
Yeah, all
Yep.
the time.
I'm
I
gonna
just-
move it right
I'm gonna
here. I'm gonna take this move
Yeah,
over
I'm
there.
just gonna
I'm gonna
fucking
do
do
this.
I just do that all the time. I don't even know. It's usually when I'm happy. I don't usually
Yeah,
do
when you're
it
having
if
fun.
I'm not having a great time. But
Yeah.
but when I start to have a good time, that stuff just comes out of
Yeah,
me. I
just
can't
turn into a
not
crazy
do it.
goofball.
So that's my number 3. Crack wise and say nonsense things while I move my pieces around like a flingle my flangle. All right, Natalie, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is, and I just realized this yesterday, that every single time I play a game at home, because it's my home, I wear a blanket in my lap.
Oh yeah,
Not
you
even
do.
if sometimes I'm not even cold, but I just always have like a blanket in my lap.
Yeah, I wonder
in
if
the
people have like
basement-
gaming outfits.
Right now she
you
does.
know?
In the basement, it is cold, but even upstairs in the kitchen, like I notice, like I always grab a blanket and have it
Yeah.
nearby or in my lap.
Yeah, gaming outfit. Like just put on the.
Yeah, I wonder if
slippers
people
and
have,
sit
like,
down.
Yeah,
definitely-
it's comfy.
Got my maple shirt.
I'll play games with Devin, and we're always, it's at night, so we're always in just comfy clothes.
Yeah.
She's wearing who cares? Devin, you're wearing
Yeah.
pajamas.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll take some pictures, and she's like, I better not be in that picture. Just like that. So yeah, there's always this like, we're always
hear
kind
her
of wearing
saying.
the same thing. So that's a good answer.
Yeah, sweet. Jeff, what is your number 3?
Oh yeah, my number 3. So instead of listening to music, my game group on Mondays, and then it's kind of rolled into some of Devin and I playing, we will just sing. We'll just sing everything.
Yeah. Someone will say
and-
like one word and a song will pop in your head.
Yeah,
you start singing.
sometimes it's not even
They just,
actual
like,
songs.
I'm gonna go here and I'm
Yeah.
gonna take this action.
and then yeah, you just like sing that, or then all of a sudden we used to play with this guy's named Eric, and Eric would sing Aaron Neville. He's like, I don't know much, but I know why I love you. And it would just be like in the background, like
Yeah.
you're singing that, or like if you like it, you should have put a meeple on it. So we're singing that.
If you like it, then you should
And
put your meeple on it.
So it's this weird dynamic of that, but also, which is really funny. So that I'm having a combo, that / something that we would like. If someone starts whispering and being like, "Oh, let me go here," everybody else for some reason also starts to
Whispers
whisper,
too.
and then 2 minutes later, we're like, "Why the hell are we whispering? What are we doing?" So it's just this. It's that's something
There's
fun
an
that we
energy
always
that
seem to have.
happens around games that are like inherently cerebral. I think you have to get that energy out somehow.
Right,
And
so it
so
comes out in,
that's
like,
the way
silly
those
ways.
things come out.
Yeah.
That's great. My number 2 is Jeff's number 5 is eat and drink.
Yeah.
I just like to eat and drink things while playing games. It's just because playing games is inherently social, and I'm a social eater. If I'm just like doing nothing, I will rarely just have food. But if I'm doing anything where I'm talking to people or socializing, people do that with drinks.
Yeah.
But I do it with food. I'll just like we'll be talking. When we were playing Paranormal Detectives, I was so amped up. I would just run over to the counter and grab some snacks and just pop
you were
them out,
pumped.
and then come back and then go in and do it again. So eating and drinking is like a huge deal for me when I'm having a good time.
I should have added drink. I always on Mondays I have a Slurpee. That's like Slurpee night.
Yeah.
I get a Slurpee, go to game night, have some Slurpee. Yeah, that's
yeah.
a good one.
It's just like a thing that happens, right? Natalie, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is this thing that I do where
Rhymed.
yes, it is.
Just so you know.
it happens a lot. I focus. Okay, it's not surprising. I'm known for like focusing so much on my own game that I don't pay attention to like what anyone else is doing in their game.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of times where I'm just sitting there focused, like, what am I going to do next? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then all of a sudden I snap out of it and I'm like, is it my turn? And Ryan's always like, yeah, you always go after me, kind of thing, And I'm
So you just, like, zone in.
Yeah.
You're just
and then
in.
but I was like, I was zoned out. Just like say yes or no so I can continue, But I just get like zoned in on something and then I'm like pop out of it and I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now.
What did I do?
Like,
What's
remind
going on? What
me.
did you
That,
do?
that has happened to me.
There's other people here?
So earlier I said
Yeah.
that Devin and I will watch TV shows. There's this one show on Netflix. I don't know what it's called. It has Zac Efron on it. And it was
That's a
on
thing, right?
Oh, I saw
Yeah. It was on our continued
just
it was on
watched
our
it, yeah.
continue to watch list. And I was like, "Oh, Devin, did you watch that? Did you what did you think of it?" And she was like, "We watched it playing games the other day."
When he was like
No, we
traveling around.
didn't.
or
You're
Like,
whatever.
we did?
I'm like, "No, we didn't." She's like, "Yeah, when we played this." I was like, "That's weird,"
Like, I
because
have
I
no
was just
recollection,
probably so
yeah.
and it could have been like 4 I was so
Yep.
invested.
So
Yeah,
you didn't
totally.
even pay attention at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeff, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is I take pictures for Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Ah,
just take
good.
I take a lot of
point.
pictures.
You
So
do. Yeah, that's a
during the game, I'm taking pictures, and that can be annoying, especially on Mondays. I feel like sometimes I've gotten to a point now where everyone knows I'm going to be doing it, where I'll be like,
Kinda
Bill,
like-
I need you to set the box top
Yeah.
up, or like, give me the box top. And sometimes I'll get up and do it and like put it there and be like, and
Yeah.
then I'll try to take my turn.
Right, quickly.
So yeah, I take pictures or I record something. Again, Devin being like, don't put me in that shot. So I'll record something, I'll post on Instagram. I've always wanted to be like Date Night Dice and do like an entire thing, but man, they're committed. And sometimes Devin and I are just like, let's just play the game.
Yeah.
But I'll
Right.
definitely take pictures. I'll record stuff
Or you're,
and
like,
then
not
try
in
to
the
post
mood
it.
to,
Yeah.
like, be on.
Yeah. So that's my number 2. I do that a
Nice.
lot.
That's a very good one. My number 1
Number 1
was Jeff's number 3.
Ooh.
No.
It is sing goofy songs
Yeah.
all the time to make Natalie crazy.
Yeah.
Usually.
Or roll her eyes.
But just
or,
like Jeff, I'll just sit. I mean, I used to be part of that game group, and that's all we would do all the time.
Yeah.
Just sing and be goofy and that's just I just keep doing that all the time. And it's just songs that they're not even real songs most of the time.
Yep.
But invariably, they always devolve to sex.
Yep.
And that's when
it
Natalie's
always
like,
goes.
oh my
it always takes a
God.
turn. Takes a turn.
Yeah.
It
all the
starts out
time.
innocent
Every time. Yeah, mine sometimes. I don't
And
know.
then
But yeah, I cannot stop singing. I can't. I just cannot stop it or humming or
Just the other day,
being
remember
ridiculous.
at Dave's, somebody who said was somebody just singing that? I'm like, if somebody says was somebody singing, it was always Ryan.
So yeah, that's my number one. Sing songs, goofy songs, crazy songs, sexual songs. Bop it, fuck it, suck it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Natalie, what is your number one?
My number one is like my goofy thing that I do during games, and it's like every time I'm like moving a pawn on a track or moving my pawn at all, I always make a beep boop beep boop bop boop,
Yep.
beep boop,
Like
bop,
some
bop,
noise
yeah.
of how
no,
it would
not
move.
some noise.
Oh, it's that
noise.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I noticed it the other day. We were playing Underwater Cities, and I was like boop bop boop boop, and then someone across the room was like boop beep boop boop, and I was like, oh my God, how embarrassing!
am I beep
I don't
booping?
even know that I do it. It just like
I'm beep
comes
booping
out
again.
of my mouth.
Oh god, I'm boop bopping.
Oh no, the bebop heaven.
Just like boop beep boop
Bebop
beep,
Rocksteady.
you know, like going up the track.
Oh my god, that's
that's
that
funny.
is true.
I'm
It's
gonna
funny
pay
you said that
attention to that
because
now.
honestly, I don't even realize that you do that.
Yeah, I
I-
didn't know I did it until somebody like mimicked me, and I was like, oh my God, that's embarrassing.
I think about that.
You have
You just
flashbacks.
doing that makes me think that a lot of people do that where they move on a track and they're like, zoop,
Yep.
Yep, or is that kind of thing.
or something. Yeah, that's really funny. I'm going to pay attention to that a little more
Zippity
now.
doo dah.
That's really funny.
Jeff, what is your number one thing to do during a game?
My number one thing to do during a game is think about my fucking turn. Think about your turn. Stop sitting around doing fuck all and think about your turn. And then
Thing to
play
do
your
while you're playing
turn.
a game.
So many people, we had this on our pet peeves list. So many people, they wait until it's their turn to
start
start
thinking
thinking.
Yeah.
And especially in games where the board state doesn't change very much. Like you can think about it before it's your
Right.
turn.
just
There
a
are
little
some
bit.
games where it changes so much you can't decide.
Yeah, there are
but
games
there
that-
are a lot of games where you can decide.
Yeah, just yeah.
That is
my number
hilarious.
one.
So that is the Gamecasters' top 5 things to do during a game. That's going to do it for us tonight, everyone. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both of those accounts serve as the podcast. We also have the Facebook group. Just search Gamecasters. You will find us there. You can also email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. We have a Board Game Geek Guild. I don't even know why I mentioned it at this point. Nobody goes to it. Natalie not as one of those people. If you'd like the show, we'd love it if you consider giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen that allows you to rate us no less than 5, please. All music for this and every episode was produced by Jeremy Pete. If you enjoyed it and want some of your own for your next project, please email us to discuss. So, for Natalie, Jeff, the Mad Board Gamer, I am Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody. Hello, this is me talking. Hello, this is me talking.
Hello, this is me talking. Hello, this is me talking.
Hello, this is me talking. Hello, this is me talking.